Well, it's time. Greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world. Pull up a chair. It's time to get down to the business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. Glad to be with you all here again for another edition of the program that laid the foundation upon which all of your red pill, MGTOW, high-value posers, alpha male wannabes, and other nefarious wannabes out there have stolen, plagiarized, and ripped off everything that they ever got. You'll hear them say it next week. You'll hear it here tonight before they steal it, remix it, and then try to feed it back to you next week. And we're going to talk to you tonight about something I wanted to discuss here for a minute. And I'm actually not going to be talking that long if I don't just have to be here, because I'm actually more interested in getting feedback on this than anything else, quite frankly. I want to ask a very simple question tonight, which may seem to be otherwise easy, but I don't think it is. I want to ask a very simple question. And the question is, do today's black men deserve respect? It is very easy to do simple things, simple-minded things, minor things. It's very easy to be intellectually lazy. It is very easy to change the subject. It is very easy to talk about anything and everything. That is easy to do. What is not easy to do is to say, you know what? I have some basic questions about where we stand. And is that actually where we are? It's very easy to say that everybody else has a problem. It is very easy to say that everybody else doesn't get it. But I have a question I want to ask you all about here. And fellas tend to be scared to ask this. They tend to be afraid because, can we just be honest? Most black males are afraid of this subject because most of them are not ready, not able, haven't been prepared to compete. And they fear this subject becoming the topic of discussion. Because truthfully, in this world, you don't deserve anything. You earn everything. You earn it. So when we talk about what it is that you deserve, what you deserve is simply just another way of saying, well, what have you earned? What you deserve should be a product of what you've earned. And if you know you haven't actually earned anything, it's going to make it real hard. So you don't want to hear that. So as soon as we talk about what do you deserve, all of a sudden they want to start talking about why it is that they haven't been able to perform. We live in a world where nobody cares about the disadvantages that you've encountered. As a man, you are expected to perform. You're expected to get the job done. Doesn't matter what handicaps you've been given. You're expected to get it done. Rightly or wrongly, fairly or not, this is what is expected of you. No one wants to hear your excuses. No one is accepting them. And that's rough. That's rough, especially when you know that you are unprepared. That is rough, especially when you know you don't actually have it. That's rough when you get it that you are not actually where you need to be. That is rough. That's a tough situation for you to be in. Knowing full well that you don't actually have it. That's a rough place to end up at. That's hard. And what we tend to do is we want somebody to come along and tell us it's okay that we are not able to succeed. Hold your hand and tell you, you know what, I understand that. Here's the problem. Your children can't eat, drink, or wear your failure. And there are a lot of people who have failed. There are a lot of black men who have failed, but wanting respect is a biological prerogative of malehood. I didn't say manhood, I said malehood. It's a biological prerogative. When a man isn't receiving respect, he is going to have an intrinsic, fundamental, visceral reaction to that. As men, we can't really define ourselves outside of that. We actually cannot. A male who is comfortable not being respected is not a man. A man who is comfortable not being respected is a child. Let me say that again. A man who becomes comfortable not being respected is not a man. He's a child. A child can be comfortable not being respected. A man understands that respect and survival go hand in hand. Respect and survival go hand in hand. When people respect you, they don't mess with you. See, you respect electricity. You respect what it can do if you get out of line. You understand there's not a big margin of error there. You respect electricity. You respect water. You respect these fundamental forces of nature. And a man, in his ultimate form of being, is a force of nature. But how can you be a force of nature if you are not respected? So every man aspires to that. He has no choice in the matter. Every man aspires to that. It's in your DNA. But I'm asking a question. Because you see, what good is a force of nature that doesn't act upon the earth? What good is lightning that can't energize anything? What good is the wind that can't move anything? What good is water that cannot hydrate anything? What good is it? Do you deserve respect? Do today's black men actually deserve to be respected? This is a gut check, and it would be very uncomfortable. You see, in the modern era on the internet, what happens is people look for an audience, and instead of telling them what they need to know, they look for an audience and then just try to tell them what they want to hear. They try to just tell them what they want to hear. That's what they do. They try to tell them what they think they wish to hear. And that becomes a problem. That becomes an issue. Right when you're able to get people to slow down long enough to listen and hear what you have to say, what people start doing is telling them what they want to hear, including telling them that they are doing enough. The problem with kitten heels and the high value posers and the MGTOW morons is we need to have a group huddle as men. Rather than attempting to do the impossible. The problem with Puss in Boots and the rest of their band of merry misfits is they are attempting to do the impossible. People, listen to me. Because it is every candy-coated flavor of stupid. It might be entertaining, but if you're actually expecting things in the world to change, and that's not the way you do it. Fellas, you don't change women. You don't change the world. That's impossible. You can't do that. You can't do that. You cannot change the world. You can only change yourself. But if you change yourself, then the world has no choice but to respond positively to you. But this idea that you're going to change the women, that's an issue. This idea that you are going to badger and lecture the women and change them, that's the problem. What you do is you change what you're doing. You change you. You alter yourself. You upgrade yourself. You enhance yourself. And everything around you is going to respond positively. But all of this tear jerking and caterwauling and fist railing, that's not going to alter anything. Oh, it feels good to vent. And that's what we've done. We've gotten a bunch of folks together and they get together in their little pathetic little peer groups of venting. And then can't figure out why nothing alters. So it all may turn out to be very entertaining, but what it's not going to do, what it's not going to be, is very productive. Now it's very, very hard for this to happen because you have to understand when you got a bunch of dudes out here who are raised by single moms, they don't know how to help you. Let's be very, very clear. These fellas today, they don't know how to help you. They don't know how to help you get there. They don't know how to help you upgrade. They don't know how to get you to that next level where you're no longer having to vent and you can actually execute what a man is supposed to, exhibiting and exerting power in the world. That's the essential ingredient. A man who feels weak and powerless is not a man. A man who feels weak and powerless is a woman. It's not optional. These things go hand in hand. It's not optional. So you have a lot of people sitting up here watching each other dance around like monkeys and gerbils, trading insults and other various nonsense. But what isn't happening is an alteration of the landscape. Oh, some folks try to claim it is, but it really isn't. It's really not. It's really not. But I'm not going to hold you very long here because what I really want to do is I really wanted to hold tonight's program because I wanted us to discuss that. And I want to give you a chance to call in. I'm going to give the fellas a chance to call in about this. I know everybody else out there is trying to figure out, they're trying to treat it like a nightclub. And if they just make every night ladies' night, then that'll attract the men. I don't have to do cheap little tricks like that. I want the fellas. Fellas, I want us to have a conversation here, and we may do the women the blessing and the privilege of being able to listen in. But I want to ask a very fundamental question. Do today's black men deserve respect? That's the question I'm asking tonight. Do today's black men deserve respect? Do they deserve respect? The telephone number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Your personal access code to the business. What usually happens is they tell people that If there's something you want to hear, that's all you have to do. All you have to do is tell people what they want to hear. And what they'll do is they'll patronize, they'll come back, they'll listen, but they are not going to actually alter anything. We're different. I actually say, you know what? Let's discuss with you why things are not going correctly. And it's a radical difference because then we have results. Then we have results. My phone lines are already filling up over here. It's happened very, very quickly. Let me go ahead and get caller from area code 510. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you're calling from?
Hi, this is Jay from Miami.
All right, Jay from Miami. And do today's black men deserve respect?
As far as I'm concerned, I kind of like to think about the old Clint Eastwood Dirty Harry thing. Deserves got nothing to do with it. The point is we're not getting it. And I think that I was trying to call in on your toxic masculinity show. But I think that this kind of dovetails into that. And I think we do have a situation where we've got toxic masculinity in our community, but not the way I would say the feminists define it. I think that black masculinity is very limited in the sense that we put too much emphasis on physical dominance and being able to, especially when we're young, being able to hold our own physically, fighting, that kind of thing. And I think that as you get older, you start to understand that competition really isn't about that anymore. And if you haven't really laid that foundation when you're young, you're going to be vulnerable as you get older, when it's more about systems, it's more about, in a lot of cases, more sophisticated knowledge. And I think that we as black men need to change our culture so that we emphasize those things as an early age so we're not playing catch up. And I think that we get to the point where later in life, you put together the IT show, which was fantastic, and everybody should check that out. But you're playing catch up when your sense of self, your sense of manhood is limited in that fashion and everybody else is not. So I think that individually.
Okay, brother, you're rambling on. You're rambling on. Now, this is another thing I want us all to understand here. This is a good teaching moment. One of the problems that black males have is they are not accustomed to being listened to. And I want to take this as a moment for a teaching moment. Black males are not accustomed to being listened to. And so when they actually do have a moment for someone to hear them, they start gushing and venting. They don't make it a point to make a clear, concise point very, very quickly. Instead, what they do is they grab the microphone and they go on, and they go on, and they go on. In reality, a man should give himself roughly 10 to 15 seconds to make his point. If he's gone on much longer than that, he's giving a lecture. And that is the real issue I want us to understand. You're already still trying to talk, which means you have not learned anything from what I just said. Well, Jason, I feel different. You can feel however you wish to. I have informed you of the objective reality. And that is one of the issues that we have. One of the issues that we have is that when black males tend to have somebody give them attention, they start performing. They take it as, well, I'm not used to getting listened to. Let me enlighten you all to everything I know, as opposed to being very brief with what we say. Because if you're actually hitting your point, you're going to get there very quickly. But black males are not accustomed to being listened to. And because they're not accustomed to being listened to, they tend to go on. They tend to go on. That tends to be a problem. So instead of us just getting directly to the point, because most people's attention spans, including the folk we're talking about, doesn't go on that well. Doesn't really work out. We tend to overdo that. So that'd be the first thing I would give you.
All right. Yeah, I was actually surprised that you let me talk as much as I did.
I was giving you, I let people talk because sometimes folks say that we shouldn't talk. But the real thing is, I want you to understand that you also do not want to say too much for a reason. I'm doing this because I want to give people an opportunity to understand what it is we tend to do wrong. Because you have to earn the right to lecture people. You've got to earn. You might be given 5 to 10 seconds just because you're breathing. You got to earn more than 5 to 10 seconds to have the ability to do that. Because if you're talking longer than that, what you're trying to do is you're trying to dispense your knowledge and wisdom. And that's great if you've got knowledge and wisdom to dispense. And most black males, when you give them an opportunity to be heard, they just assume that they have that. That's where we get into trouble. We're getting into trouble there. Do today's black men deserve respect? Well, I'm not going to speak just yet on what we deserve or whatnot. But what I will say is I know what we don't have. I know we don't have it. And I want us to take an opportunity to understand why we don't have it. So the first lesson I would teach is, brothers, you might want to give yourselves a stopwatch and say, I'm going to make my point in 5 to 10 seconds or less. And then if the people that you're talking to, if they want to ask anything else, and they will, well, then you can go from there. But then once again, make it as short as it can be. Because what and I'm not saying this to be hyperbolic, black males are not used to being listened to. We see this at church. We see this in schools. We see this at my movie premieres. I allow Q&A sessions at my movie screenings. But it tends to be a tricky thing, particularly with the black males. Because they're so used to not being listened. We're handing the microphone so they can ask one question. And immediately it goes to, well, you see, my name is Brother Mullah Abdul Muhammad Ahmed Johnson. And I've been living here in the city of Detroit for 25 years. 25 years. And I've seen a whole lot of things happen. Down there on the riverfront, I remember they used to, and there we go. So it's really reflexive. We're not used to being listened to. And people sitting and listening to you for an extended period of time, that's a gesture of respect. Most black males are not used to having the respect to have people be able to sit and listen to them for an extended period of time. So when they do have an opportunity, they assume that position as opposed to earn it. So that would be the first thing that I would advise, is we first need to make sure that we understand if a question's been asked, we need to be the yes or no guys. We need to get straight to yes or no. And then from there, folks can deal with it. If we're not saying yes or no, we might want to re-examine if we should be talking at all, because that's usually our way of saying, well, let me go ahead and talk for a little while. And in the process, nobody even remembers what we were talking about. That's the real problem. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Yes, this is a teaching moment. This entire program tonight Do today's black men deserve respect? Let me get caller from area code 478. You're on live with The Business. Do today's black men deserve respect?
Yeah. Black men deserve respect because black men that don't get respect, wrong from they die.
Okay.
People get hurt when you don't get respected.
All right. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
My name Brandon, calling from Atlanta, Georgia.
Brandon calling from Atlanta. Now, I didn't say do black men need respect. I said do today's black men deserve to be respected?
Depends on the man. It's some men that don't and some men that do. It's some people who
let's talk about black men as a group. We're not going to do the some do and some don't. Do black men as a group today deserve respect?
Oh, that's a hard one. I say no.
Okay, and why do you say no?
As a group, no. I say no because we haven't built anything. And respect, it requires for you to do something. And if you ain't did it as a group, then how you going to get respect? Anywhere you go in the world, people done built stuff, except for when you come to America, white people own stuff over here. So it's hard for a woman or anybody to respect you when you ain't got the results to show for it.
And what would you say to those who say that, well, we've been held back and we've been oppressed, and that has prevented us from accomplishing the level of success and accomplishment and building things that you're referring to?
I say to them, at one point in time, I would say they had a point. But today is just an excuse. Because there's too many ways to get out here and make money and do what you got to do these days. Yes, we have it harder than every other group, but that shouldn't stop you. Even if you ain't graduated school or went to college, you could go out here and make a living doing trades, electricians, HVAC, drive trucks, anything. So it's no excuse for a grown man to sit there and say he can't build nothing or he can't do nothing or he should just be given respect. Ain't nowhere in the world that anybody just giving respect for doing nothing. And I don't give nobody respect for doing nothing. I don't expect nobody to give me anything for doing absolutely nothing. Like I said, where I was raised from, you had to get it out of the mud, you know what I mean? So if you ain't had that grind in you to get it on your own, then you're going to starve or you're going to have to do whatever you have to do to get what you want. And I feel like
what you're saying is that you are expected to perform no matter what, even if you were not taught, even if you don't have the proper tools, that you're expected to perform no matter what.
It's human nature to adapt to your environment. If you put me in a different circumstance, let's say I grow up in a suburban community, I will adapt to the environment and use the resources in that community to get where I need to go. I grew up in the hood, so I adapt to the environment. Did I want to have to do some of the things I did? No, I didn't, but them the cards I was dealt.
Well, thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. You are expected to perform. That is the moral of the story tonight, is you are expected to perform. Even if you were not taught, even if you don't have all the tools, you're expected to get them. You're expected to get them. Let me get caller from area code 678. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you're calling from?
Hello, Kevin.
Okay, folks, if you're not ready to talk on the phone when you call in, don't call in. Caller from area code 972, you're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Marcus Boyd from Fort Worth, Texas, by way of Haynesville, Louisiana.
Marcus from Fort Worth, what's on your mind? Do today's black men deserve respect?
The answer is no. And the reason I believe black men do not deserve respect today is because, number one, you can't be a man as long as the system of white supremacy exists. You could be a male, and all our respect was taken the minute we were born into this system. So if we want respect, we got to get rid of the system of white supremacy. And that's my response.
Okay. Here's the issue. How do you propose that we get rid of the system of white supremacy?
Black empowerment.
Okay. And exactly, specifically, what is black empowerment?
Doing for self, going for self, creating an economic base, and getting some economic independence, and doing what we need to do to create our own situation, void of whatever white people may be doing or not doing for us or supporting us and things of that nature. And the people who don't want to go with that, got to leave them behind and keep pushing forward.
Okay, but if we do that, what you just said to do, which is what needs to be done first, because you can't eliminate the system of white supremacy until you do those things you just said, wouldn't those things actually make us respected?
I agree to a percentage, but as long as this system that we're in exists, we're always going to be within the system. So we got to get rid of it. We can't escape it. You can't pretend like it's not here. We have to get rid of the entire system and just create an entire new system. But I think one of the first steps of doing that, at least from a black perspective, is for us to have our own economic base, because and not to go on because I don't want to go too far with it, but I just know just from listening to you and Professor Black Truth and even Tariq for years, I do know that just looking at other cultures and what they're doing as far as to get their respect is they have an economic base. So I think that's the first thing. And I think that would start to get other people to look at it.
But do you understand you're now refuting what you said before?
No, how about doing that, Jay?
Okay. If you have to ask, then that's not a good sign. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see anything funny about being wrong.
Yeah.
How old are you?
39.
You're how old?
39.
You're 39 and giggle like a girl. That's something that is not funny.
Well,
interesting.
The only reason I was giggling.
Yes, go ahead and tell me the acceptable reason for a 39-year-old male giggling like a sidewalk sissy. Tell me the acceptable reason for that.
I wasn't necessarily giggling to.
You weren't necessarily giggling.
We're talking about, it's a serious subject. But I was only
such a serious subject that he's giggling.
I was excited to talk to you because I never get to talk to you. That's all.
Okay. I guess he figured I needed to talk.
And I didn't expect to even be on the phone.
I guess he figured I needed to talk to some sissies. Amazing.
No, I'm not.
39 years old. You know why today's black men don't deserve respect? You know why we don't get it?
Because they're not serious?
Because this is your 39. Now, he's not 19. He's middle-aged.
Uh-huh.
He will expect, with this disposition and this emotional demeanor, he will expect a female to follow him. Actually, he doesn't expect anything. So let's not say that. He hasn't expected anything. But if you want to know why it's not happening, there you go. There you go. Right there. How can society take us seriously? How is white supremacy going to take us seriously? And this is what your middle-aged males are doing. They have not progressed out of adolescence. Haven't progressed out of adolescence. We're here discussing serious business. And 39. These are the middle-aged dudes who's supposed to be talking to the kids and the teenagers and the tweenagers and the 20-somethings. This is them. If you want to know what happened in that Dallas area, this is what happened. Right here. If you want to know what happened. If you want to know why the females do not trust Middle-aged black males, go listen to my program from last week about do they trust these older, supposed high-value men. If you want to know why the females don't have much faith or trust, the fellas are goofier and sillier than the broads are. And the females are looking at that like, damn, ain't nothing funny. And the fellas out here giggling, and she's like, I'll be damned, I'm on my own. Not a good look. Not a good look. You see, we're supposed to set the tone as men. The females will follow our lead. And if we don't set the tone that we are dead ass serious, then the females will not take it seriously. The children will not take it seriously, and our enemies certainly won't take it seriously. But when we are unable to psychologically understand which conversation we're having, well, no wonder people don't respect us. We don't know when it's time to be serious, when it's time to giggle. Oh, I just have to talk to you. I ain't no damn celebrity. And I'm the guy you're talking to. And I met fellas a lot richer and a lot better well known than me, and I've never cracked a smile in their presence. Not because I'm a person who wants to be just super dead ass serious, but because I want them to understand I came on business. That's called discipline. How do you respect someone who doesn't have discipline? Answer, you don't. This is a teaching moment, folks. Hopefully you've learned yours. Middle-aged men, middle-aged males, giggling, chuckling, and then wonder why you're at the bottom of the ladder of respect. And he would have told you that he wasn't one of the ones who doesn't deserve respect. He would have told you that's not him. That's what he would have told you. That's not me. That isn't me. That's what he would have told you. Caller from area code 615. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Troy.
Okay, Troy, did you hear what was just said to you?
It's Troy from Nashville.
Troy is currently a streetwalker in Nashville.
No. Yes, sir, I'm just at work, but it's Troy from Nashville.
This nigga sounds like he's got his phone up under his chin. How old are you, Troy? Another giggler.
I'm 35.
Another damn near middle-aged giggler. I want you all to just understand that. Just had one from Texas, had another one here in Nashville.
No, sir.
Think about this for just a few moments. I want you all to just listen to this for just a few moments. Does this sound like it deserves respect to you? I just want you all to hear this.
No, sir. I'm just working, sir. That's all.
I didn't put you on the phone acting like that. You put yourself there. I didn't do that. All I did was let you talk.
Right.
And I just want to know, to the women and the young people under the age of 20, you tell me, how inspiring is this display of manhood you're hearing? Yeah, how many of you would like to grow up to be like this?
All right, Jason, it's not like that. But I think respect is earned. Respect has to be earned.
I'm sure you do.
As a whole, I don't think we've earned it yet.
You don't say. Tell me more.
Yeah, as a whole, we haven't earned it yet. I did grow up with with my mom being the dominant person in the household, and I did have to learn things from a hit or miss. So I was raised, and so I had to grow up, in a deficit. So I didn't have that masculine energy. I didn't have that role model in the household. So just trying to get through life, you got to learn from your mistakes. And that's what makes you a man. And doing that, that's how you earn your respect. You can get tough going through those types of tough situations, and that's how you get your respect. And that's how you earn your respect. So as a whole, I don't think we've earned our respect yet, because I don't think we understand how to work together too well right now. So I think how you come up is connecting, working together, having discipline. Like
well, so much for brevity. As I said, y'all got to understand, these dudes, they get in their 30s, they are completely unaccustomed being listened to. They get disregarded and ignored by anybody of consequence. So the moment that they get to talk, they take off. And he's literally calling me from a freeway somewhere. He's literally calling me from a freeway. I don't know what he must pick up cans for a living beside the interstate. These are your 30-something-year-old black men. They're damn near 40, damn near middle-aged. Yeah. Caller from area code 856. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Jeff from Camden, New Jersey.
Jeff from Camden. And do today's black men deserve respect?
Honestly, these young bulls don't deserve it, respectfully, just because, in my eyes, as a black business owner, they won't compete. They don't have that get back up attitude, trying to move up the ranks, trying to collect wins. Like I said, for over 10 years, I've hired as a mobile detailer. And so I have vans. I'd bring them on. If you walk up to me and say you want to work, I'll tell you to be here at 7 o'clock tomorrow. And you're going to make over $100. And we're going to detail from city to city in Philly and King of Prussia, Marion, everywhere. And it's just, I give them a couple of days, no days off, because I don't take any days off, but they just can't make it. They're not trying to win. They'd rather vacuum forever rather than try to get to the polish and get more money and eventually in your own van. And I'm just seeing it now. It's the same thing with the giggling issue you talking about, the sucking your teeth, or the same as talking on and on.
First of all, doesn't surprise me you got a business owner on the phone, because when it's time to do business, we don't want to bull jive around. We're trying to get straight to it. But that is an outgrowth of your personality. If you are a person who is okay playing around, stalling around, messing around, then yeah, you let people run you around in circles and nothing gets done. But when it's time to do business, we're trying to get from point A to point B as quickly as possible. And you don't get there by acting entertained and it's a comedy skit. And the issue that we have is so many of these black males today are raised by hoes, single mother hoes. If you don't like the way I said it, damn you. I will not apologize for speaking the absolute truth. Most of your black males today, 80% of them are raised by gutter, hood rat, single mother hoes. And women follow men. Now you have a generation, 2 or 3 generations of males who the only thing they know how to do is look for another male to follow. And they follow him not like soldiers going to battle, because every male isn't a general. Some of you are going to be captains, lieutenants, sergeants, infantry. That's understandable. But they don't follow you like soldiers. They follow you like groupies. And it's one thing for females to occupy a groupie position. It's another thing for males to assume a groupie position in the presence of another man. He looking for you to give it to him. You telling him, nigga, you got to get up and get it. And he's looking to you to come and bring it to him. Like his drawers are made of lace. See, it's one thing when a female acts that way. As men, as builders, we don't expect women to build for us. But when we're in the presence of another man, it's like, okay, dude, I need to see what you built because that's what validates your manhood credentials. A bunch of overgrown adolescents. Now, you're up there in that New Jersey area. And let's just be very, very clear. How long have you lived in New Jersey?
I came to New Jersey, came to Camden at like 94 when I was 12.
Okay, where are you originally from?
I was a military kid, so I was Camden was pretty much the first time I heard hip hop and got around black people at 13. It was just usually South Dakota, Ellsworth Air Force Base, Building Hall, Griffiths Air Force Base. Okay. Yeah, I was a high-ranking guy.
All right. Well, you've been out there in Camden now for over, 30 years? Well, yep. Going on 30 years. And a lot's changed. A lot has changed because it used to be that New York was the crusher and was outrageously expensive, and everybody runs over there to New Jersey. Now New Jersey in many places is more expensive than New York is, quite honestly. What I'm saying is this is not for the faint of heart. And it's not for those looking for somebody to carry them. Really, you can't even really live up there if you're making less than $80,000, $100,000 a year. I'm talking about as a single person. As a single person. Lord help you if you got kids.
Correct.
Nobody's trying to give you nothing. You've been up there enough that you know what I'm going to be talking about here. When you when you leave Manhattan, come through the Holland Tunnel, going over to Jersey, ain't nothing but Indians when you go on that side. Ain't nothing but Indians over there in, Inglewood? There's nothing but Indians over there. Nothing but Asians. Nothing but white folk over there. And it's like, okay, you ain't ready. Every time I go over there, you're not ready. All the black folk are really just kind of corralled off over there in Newark. Hell, they ain't even really down in Trenton like they used to be.
At all.
Not really in Trenton like they used to be. What I'm saying is, how can I speak about these places like that? They ran everybody out of New York and whatnot. They fled over there to Jersey and figured, well, we can catch our breath and be safe for a little while. No, you can't. No, you can't.
At all.
I'm trying to think to myself, brother. I'm trying to think to myself the last time that I saw one of them Indian dudes laughing. When you talk to them about what a problem is. That you're there to talk to them about a problem and they start laughing. I'm trying to remember that. With these Asians sitting up here claiming they're getting attacked and everything, I ain't seeing none of them laughing. I don't see anybody laughing. I don't see anybody giggling when Andrew Yang shows up. I don't see anybody chuckling. They look dead ass serious. They look dead ass serious to me. Sounds like they take the situation a lot more seriously. I'll let you have the last word.
Thank you. All I can say is, like, I'm across the street from Philly, and it's just one big thing you said is New Jersey. It's so expensive. It's a reason why a lot of 30-year-olds still live with their mom. And the money here, I tell people, if you don't have a business or you're not making what you said, at least $80,000, just go down south. Like, there's a big consequence for not being competitive up here. And racism up here, up north, it's not in your face. It's just everybody on the third shift is always black for that extra dollar. And black men need to just compete, man. The young ones, they just need to compete. Just try to move up the ladder by any means necessary. Not take a L and not want to get back up, or I'm cool down here on the ground. Yeah, thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Please do give us a call again. Let me get caller from area code 323. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, big brother. How you doing? This is Brother Elijah calling from Las Vegas, by way of New York, big brother.
All right, and do black men today deserve respect?
Big brother, absolutely not. Absolutely not, brother. All right, and I'm not. I'm saying as a group, absolutely not. This all dates back to what you were saying. We're not building anything. We're not controlling anything. All right, we have a bottom of the barrel mentality. We're not even doing the basics like we used to from your teachings, which is true, big brother. We're not even involved in home ownership. We're not investing. We don't have a lot of money. We're still at home with our parents. All right, we're undermotivated. One big thing, we refuse to do the teachings of Dr. John Henry Clark, all right, which is take our power from our oppressors. We don't want to do that. But, big brother, I could be saying something wrong. Big brother, I want to hear your wisdom. Please correct me. That's all. I'm sorry about that. Thank you.
Power's not given, it's taken. But you can't take it if you're not intelligent, disciplined, and serious. Period.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from area code 916. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes. Yeah, after we do deserve respect.
Okay, sounds like you got Rosemary's Baby going on back there.
Yeah. I mean, I probably shouldn't have called. I was listening, and I got my kids in the car. I mean, I could call another time.
They sound very hyped. How old are you?
I'm 42.
Okay. And do today's black men deserve respect?
Yeah, yes, we do. I don't know if we really get it, but I just feel we do deserve respect because everybody emulates everything they do off of us. Everyone to be us. And it's just like we could take it so easily and we get it, but we just don't even know the respect that we have.
Okay. So you're saying that you believe that today's black men have done something. What exactly are today's black men doing to be worthy of respect?
Well, I just know the black men I'm around. I know we all handle our business with our kids and our families and in life, and we could be doing more. But it's just that if men in general are getting respect, we deserve it too. I mean, because I feel like I'm respected, and I'm going to demand respect. If you don't respect me, you're not going to be in my face. So a lot of black men I know have that same mentality.
Explain to me exactly how it is that you feel you are respected.
Be quiet. Pardon me?
Explain to me exactly how it is that you feel you are respected. How do you know that?
Because respect is when if somebody can't just treat you a certain way right in front of you, you're getting respected. If they got to say something behind your back or they got to just not do it, you're getting respected. But if they just have to be sly and slick and think of strategies to do stuff to you, I mean, that means you're respected, but they have to just figure out ways to get over on you or treat you a certain way because they have to do it that way. I mean, you can respect somebody and still kill them, but you may have to do it a certain way to do it though, because you know that they're not going to just let you do it easily, so you got to respect them in the way you go about doing it.
Okay. Let me try this again. What is it about you that you believe makes you worthy of respect?
Because I handle my business as a man. I take care of my kids, my family, and I make sure they're protected.
Okay. Wait a minute. Now, who are the three people you said you take care of?
Oh, just my family. I mean, I have 4 kids, including 2 stepkids. I have a lady right now. We're still working on our relationship. We'll see if we get married or not. I mean, I am divorced too, but I still just, I handle all my obligations I handle.
Okay.
So I'm dependent on, people need me, and I'm needed. And if I wasn't here, it'll be a lot of people hurting if I was gone. So.
And you believe that is what qualifies as respect?
I mean, yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from area code 404. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jason, this is Brother Matthew calling out of Atlanta, Georgia.
All right, Matthew out of Atlanta. And do today's black men deserve respect?
In my view, as a group, no, Jason. We don't deserve respect because for me, we don't protect, safeguard, avenge, produce justice for our people, our culture, our society in any significant way. We're just way too lax with it. If we had a culture of just really going out and producing justice for our people, especially in today's times, then I could say we do, but we don't. So that's my answer.
Wow. Brief, concise, to the point. Perhaps you should give classes. How old are you?
30.
Well, maybe some of the younger 30-somethings can do something to improve the landscape for some of those older ones. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from area code 949. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Jason. My name's D. I'm from Newport Beach.
Okay,
California.
your phone's real muddled. I'm not sure what you are doing. If you're on a headset, Bluetooth, or something, you're very muddled. You need to take your phone off of that, and you need to speak into the phone itself.
Hi, my name's D. I'm from Newport Beach, California.
Okay, now your signal is no good. I'll give this one more try. What is your name?
Yeah, hi, my name's D. I'm from Newport Beach, California.
D from Newport Beach. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I don't feel like black men deserve respect today because we don't value marriage. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Okay. Why do you feel that black men don't value marriage?
Because 80% of the children that are born that are black and that are born to unmarried mothers, and that doesn't happen in any other group.
Okay. And why do you feel that 80% of black children today are born to single mothers?
Yeah, like as I said, we don't see the value in marriage, and we don't like other groups do. Because if we did, we wouldn't be doing that.
How old are you?
I'm 29.
Okay, this sounds like Leopold. It really does. But I'll assume it's not for now. Although, yes, it does sound eerily familiar. It really does. Let me find out here. Do you know the numbers behind what you just said? Because for what you said to make sense, it basically would have to have a 1-to-1 ratio if you're going to put that at the feet of black men. So do you actually know what the numbers are?
I haven't looked at the exact
The answer is yes or no.
Yes.
Okay. Give me the numbers. Do not give me an explanation. Only tell me the numbers.
Of our group or of other groups?
Okay. What percentage of black females are single moms?
I'm not positive.
Okay. What percentage of black males are single fathers?
I am not positive.
For you to offer the indictment of black men as a group, like you just did, what you said might actually be relevant, but only if it's accurate. However, you just made a statement that, quote, we don't value marriage, and yet you can't tell me how many don't value marriage. How many do you think it is, since you've come to this conclusion that black men as a group today don't value marriage? How many, what is the number you think it is?
The number as far as black people that are not being married?
Well, let's start with black men, since that's who you made your indictment of. Let's start with them.
Yeah. How many of them do I think are not married?
Well, you mentioned about making kids and not married, so I guess we need to start with how many are single fathers.
How many are fathers?
You're repeating yourself over and over again. How many black males today are single fathers?
Yeah. You asked me that. I said I'm not 100%.
All right. Then what you're saying, and I asked you how many do you think are, since you've come to the conclusion that most black males do not value marriage. You're stalling.
Jason, I don't know the numbers, man.
Okay, so you don't even know how many you feel. And yet you've come to the conclusion that the issue is black males don't value marriage.
Oh, I see your point. You have a great point. I see where you're coming from now. Yeah, because it doesn't seem like it would be a black male issue just because 80% of children are born to unmarried mothers. It could be a woman's issue. Yeah, that's a great point. I get that.
Well, it could be, but how do we know if it is?
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. I never looked at it like that.
Okay. Did you grow up with your father?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Okay. If you did, then why would you assume that most black males do not value marriage?
Well, I think, and this is just my personal opinion. This is not data. This is not a study. It just seems like a lot of black men that do have children, they have them from multiple different women, and then most of the time they're not married to those women. I mean, that's the case with what happened to my dad. My dad had
there you go.
How many women did he have?
There you go.
He had a lot.
Okay. Now
he had a lot.
All right. Now here's the issue, because now you get into an issue of math. The simple fact of the matter is that most black females today who are single moms, they have multiple kids by multiple dudes. They don't just have just one.
Yeah.
But here's the other issue. It's only a fraction of black males who are single fathers out here making all these bastard kids. The number is about 20%.
Right.
And I went over that years ago, and now my copycats, posers, and others are using the stats. They haven't thanked me yet. The number is 20% of these guys are out here getting about 60% of the females knocked up and pregnant with bastard kids. And the females are sharing.
Right.
The females are man sharing that 20% of males.
Right.
They're man sharing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So the question is, who's making? If the question is, okay, stop talking. If your issue is, well, 80% of these kids are being born out of wedlock and not in a married home, then we have to start taking a look at, okay, how did that get started? Who's actually powering that? If 60% of the females are man sharing 20% of the males, then who is driving that issue that you have a problem with? You just reflexively said, well, it's the men's. And then, of course, when I ask about your father, I'm like, oh, okay, I can see why you would assume something like that. But you haven't walked it through. What it also tells me is that your mother didn't do a very good job of illuminating for you her role in it.
Right.
Because if she did, you wouldn't be pointing the finger at the men and saying that. You'd be like, wait a minute. What type of female do we have out here that they're man sharing somebody like my dad? Knowing he got kids. Because here's the thing. Are you the oldest of his children?
Yes.
Okay.
At least from what I know.
All right. Here's the bigger issue here. How many kids did he have with your mother?
2. 2, not including me.
Right. And was he ever married to her?
Yes, he was.
He was married to her?
Yes, he was.
Okay. Here's the issue I have here. No woman marries a man not knowing what he is. She marries him because of what he is. And usually he
was rich, that's why.
Well, yeah. I don't know about that part, but I will say that obviously she didn't have a problem with a fellow who gets around. He didn't just wake up one day running through a bunch of females so recklessly. That's who he was and what he was when she met him. She thought it was a game, and found out it wasn't. And as usual, the children wind up paying the price. They wind up paying the worst price because you're thrown into a situation you never asked to be in. She asked to be with that dude. She fought to be with him.
Right.
You didn't.
Yeah, that's super true.
That's the difference. And now here you are with this jaded view and this cynical view of men. And in reality, it's programming. You've been sent in the wrong direction. So, have you... Stop.
Well, you know the thing is, too, Jason, can I say something, too?
Brake pedal. When was the last time you talked to your father?
Maybe like a month ago.
Have you ever asked your father what type of woman your mother was when he met her?
I never asked him that. No, I never did.
Have you ever confirmed that your father was actually legally married to your mother before you were conceived?
Jason, you're bringing up a lot of good points today that I've not thought through at all. Yeah, I don't know.
What usually happens in society today, and I'm not going to let your father off the hook for this, but what tends to happen is we tend to leave it up to the females to write the history of the males.
Yeah.
And when you leave it up to the females to write his history, why, she is going to make it the most damning document possible. When she gets done, he's going to be sitting there in the Garden of Eden with the snake poking Eve in the rear end with a pitchfork. When she gets done telling the tale.
Right.
Why, when she gets done telling the tales, he was on the plane with bin Laden flying into the World Trade Towers when they get done. If you leave it up to them to tell the history of the men. What you need to do is talk to your mom and see if she's really open to tell you what happened. Then go talk to your father and ask him what occurred. Then I want you to do one more thing. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any uncles and aunts?
Yes, I do.
Ask them what type of relationship your father and your mother had. Because you see, if your father's got sisters, they knew what kind of woman he was hopping into bed with. And if your mother had brothers, then they knew what kind of man your father was. And they probably were telling their sister, this ain't the one.
Right.
So a lot of y'all as young people, you haven't thought to do some investigating. Talk to your mom, talk to your dads. Yeah, but there are other witnesses. And they were your age, and they knew what type of person their brother or their sister is. And they also knew what type of person their brother and their sister was fooling with. And they'll probably tell you some things and fill in some gaps you didn't know about or you were afraid to ask about. And then you start getting a more fleshed out picture of the events. It won't be perfect because you weren't there. But you'll start getting a lot of information you didn't have before. And all of a sudden, you're going to find when you start confronting them about, by the way, you didn't tell me about that dude you met out there in El Segundo, Ma. You didn't tell me that we wasn't sure about them paternity tests and whatnot. You didn't say nothing about that. Her first words to you would be, who told you about that? So what I'm saying is a lot of you are making assumptions. You should take out the time to validate your assumptions because there is such a thing as fact. There are such things as facts.
Right.
There really, really are. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight.
Yeah.
California. Caller from area code 574. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
How you doing, Mr. Black?
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Zavine. I'm calling from Elkhart, Indiana.
Okay, what's your name again?
This is Zavine.
Okay, Levon from Melville. What's on your mind?
Zavine with the Z, sir. I'm sorry, Zavine.
That's very creative. I won't get into the etymology of that name. And do today's black men deserve respect?
Depending on what era they come from.
Okay, I did not ask that. That's a yes or no question because we exist as a group. Do today's black men deserve respect?
No, not today's at all, because the ones that represent, today's era of men, they're not the ones that are supposed to be representing it because their representation is totally far from where the real black man etymology should be.
Okay, and where should that etymology be?
Well, as we stand as men, excuse me, but as we stand as men and how things are going right now, we see what is going on, and there's just very far and few of us that see what is going on, and that want to correct the situation that's going on, and it's just that those that's right now the younger ones, they don't understand that and they don't see it, and it's hard for us to have them understand what the hell is going on.
Okay, I know I used the word etymology earlier, and then you used the word etymology. You might want to take a few moments to Google that word and find out exactly what it means. I'm almost certain that it's not really related to what we're discussing. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Okay. Fellas, if you think this is a great look tonight, some of y'all are proving it right. Caller from area code 330. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Another one fighting with his phone.
Hello? Jason. James calling out of Canton, Ohio.
James out of Canton. And do today's black men deserve respect?
No, because we don't respect each other. Period.
Okay.
Be one. That's all I have to say.
Well, slow down. Brake pedal. You said that black men today do not deserve respect because we do not respect each other. Elaborate. What exactly do you mean by that?
I mean, just on an everyday basis. You know what I mean? I love black people. There's nothing like black people. You try to speak to them. They don't speak. You try to talk business, they don't want to talk. Man, I can go on for days, you know. But at the same time, you see the same black people, they'll break their neck to speak to non-black people or white people, you know. So, you know, I don't really have much to say. I'm just telling you what I see on a day-to-day basis.
Well, I actually find that to be accurate. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. No, I don't have a lot to say tonight. I know some of you want me to go on and you want me to pontificate. Actually, I don't have a lot to say. I want you all to hear what the callers have to say. Not me. Caller from area code 321. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you're calling from?
Hey, Jason. This is Antoine from Orlando. And I do think we as black men deserve respect. I have some points. Can I say them?
Okay. What is it that you believe that black men are doing today that makes them worthy of respect?
And you're saying today, right? You're not saying all throughout the era?
No, sir. Today. Right now. All right. 21st century. What are black men as a group doing today to be worthy of respect?
Okay. Well, right now, we're who's doing the pull-up summer? Who's out there putting foot to pavement? I mean, even you yourself. You know what I'm saying? Putting up the billboards. When all black men came together for Breonna Taylor, even though they tried to pretend that was not true, we did. So we are coming up. We came up money-wise. I mean, right now, I think the average black man is $42,000, and I think the white man is at $52,000, if that's not correct. So we're trying to come up money-wise, and no one's gone through the BS that we have gone through as black men. I dare anyone say that any race of man could deal with this nonsense that we have to do from 400 years to this day. It is an insult to say that to black men. We created a whole music genre called R&B to uplift black women, and they have the nerve to say the nonsense they say. When people think of R&B, they think of black women. But you said today.
Yes, I said today.
I mean, even look at Ice Cube. Ice Cube, he had your paperwork. He had some of your ideas. Who came in there and tried to put salt in it? Unfortunately, a black woman.
The things that you're pointing out there are certainly true. You do talk about, my work and whatnot, and I certainly am very proud of that. And I consider that to be, if I may say, it's been a bright spot on an otherwise bleak landscape. But I don't represent black males in general. I don't represent black men as a group.
Well, I personally believe it's more propaganda, just like how that guy really thought that all black men had having all these baby moms. When you had to correct them, that it's 20% is having all these kids. Because 80-20 rule is definitely real in black America. Like, I didn't even know until you and some other people that black men were making as much. I didn't know we were 10,000 under a white man. I think we're a lot higher and better than what they try to give credit to. And unfortunately, even some of us believe the bullshit.
Well, let's take a look at that for a moment there. Well, first of all, when we do talk about what you just said there about, what numbers are represented by what, first question I would have to ask you here, and it sounds like you've been a long time listener in this regard. First question I would have to ask you is, what percentage of black people practice cooperative black economics?
Now, that one I don't know, and I will agree that we definitely need to do that.
Actually, you do know. You do know. You know how I know you know? I know that you know because I know that you know how long a dollar stays in the black community, as opposed to literally every other.
Yep. It's like, I believe it's 5 hours or something like that, right?
Less than 24 hours. Now, you simply could not have a statistic like that if the overwhelming majority of black people were not off code. You simply couldn't have it. So if I represent black people, black males as a group, Where in the world did that number? How in the world could that statistical fact possibly
Well, you know
exist?
that's not all black men. You know that's mostly black women. You know the weaves. Even though we told them stop to go to those Chinese stores,
okay,
they still go in there. You know that's part of that,
sir.
Percentage,
sir. That's a part of it. Are you sitting here trying to tell me that black men do not do the exact same behavior?
No, I'm not saying.
Okay,
I'm not saying
but that's what you just.
We're not a
that's
part of
what
it.
you just said.
But who's a bigger spender in black community?
Sir, it doesn't matter about who's the bigger spender unless you can show me that black men are spending money with each other for the first 2 days. Unless you can show me that our behavior is demonstrably one iota different.
Well, I do have criticism for black men. One thing I feel like we do have a Highlander mentality, meaning that if we see another black man coming up, we feel like we got to shut him down. If we see he has a lot of followers and his Instagram, his YouTube, or whatever the case may be, for some odd reason, black men, we feel like we have to shut that guy down instead of working with him. That's the only real advantage I would.
Here's
the other men
here's the real thing I'll say about that. Once again, these are unpleasant realities to be sure, but we're not going to fix anything by pretending that reality and math don't count. They count. Mm-hmm. These are mathematical realities. That's all. We cannot make believe or fantasize our way out of it. What black women are doing is irrelevant. There's 2 million more of them than us. If black men were not doing the same behavior, those numbers would not skew so heavily. Those numbers are clear. Mm-hmm. When you go to Foot Locker, those numbers are clear. When you go to the mall and look at the Gucci store, those numbers are clear. When you take a look at Xbox sales, those numbers are clear. That's not a bunch of females lined up for that, sir. It's not a bunch of females lined up for that.
Why?
Not at all.
No, yes, as black people, we should do group economics. But like I'm saying, are you saying just because of that weakness that negates everything else I just said?
No, I didn't say.
Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm not going to say negates it, but what I will say is that you can't say that outweighs it.
No, it's definitely a problem. We agree there. Like I do see movements on social media, Twitter, where people are pushing. We need to push group economics. I have been hearing black men. I do go on the manosphere side too, and they say the same thing. There are people on that side that had the same criticism, and they're trying to put people together. Even I ain't gonna lie, I listen to what you call Kitten Hills Kevin. He says it too. Believe it or not, they used to come after his head before he got big. Believe it or not. Hello?
You can tell the intelligence of someone by the people that they quote.
What's on this intelligence? Please enlighten me.
I don't think it would work. The very fact of what you just said, and I knew you were going there, which is why I let you keep talking, because I knew you were going there already. And you have to understand, some folks don't like to know things. They just like to be entertained and they like to believe things, but they do not like to know things, because knowledge is a far harder skill to acquire than feeling. So when they get a hold of erroneous people giving out bad information or people with bad motives, they don't correct. They don't self-correct. They just keep going. And when you start citing disreputable sources as being credible, that's the first sign that, no wonder I'm hearing some of the, it's not surprising to hear the things we're hearing. Not surprising at all.
What was the point that was wrong, though? Because I do listen to you, too.
Okay.
So, please, if I'm wrong, I'd like to learn.
This would be like the problem what you're trying to do now is this would be like me trying to explain to somebody why Fox,
I'm not going to argue with you.
Okay. Pump your brakes. The problem with me attempting to enlighten you would be the same as me trying to explain to someone why they shouldn't listen to Fox News. if I have to explain it to them, it's not going to do a whole lot of good. If they cannot see it, if it's not self-evident to them, then it's not going to do a whole lot of good. It really isn't.
But y'all making the same point.
If you think that the same point is being made, that's why it would do no good to explain it to you.
So you don't know. That's fine.
No, sir. You're just too dense, and it's not worth the time.
No, it's obvious.
Hang up the phone. Hang up the phone.
It's okay. It's
just
obvious.
Hang up the phone. You're done, sir. You are done. Hang up the phone. Last try.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go.
I don't mind if I do. Caller from area code 484. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, yo, calling out of Philadelphia. Black men do not deserve.
He's calling from a wind tunnel. So far, we've had, about 2 callers tonight who actually represented things well. Everybody else has demonstrated, basically they've been exhibit A of tonight's topic. And it almost sounds funny until you start thinking about, by the way, they're out here. Caller from area code 917, you're on live with the business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello.
And yet another person not holding their phone and scrambling for it. And she was so goofy, she hung up on herself. Amazing. Caller from area code 303, you're on live with the business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Dre Scott from Denver.
Dre Scott from Denver. And do today's black men deserve respect?
Today's black men deserve respect in the same aspects of fire. Some of us, like yourself, would be a raging forest fire, which could destroy or build society. Some are, like myself, would be a campfire, which will protect you from the elements. And some of us are just that big lighter that white society is going to get harmed from because they get cancer.
Okay. Do you feel that black men today, as a group, are worthy of respect? No. Okay. Why do you feel that way?
As we stated earlier in the conversations, we don't own or control anything, and you can't respect anybody because it's not given, it's taken.
And what do you feel should be done to correct that?
I mean, same mission that we're on now. The ones that can build. The ones that can't, get built on.
You can either pave the road or get paved under it. Interesting. I think I'll keep that one. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from area code 267. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Jay from Philadelphia.
Jay from Philadelphia.
And,
do today's black men deserve respect?
Today's black men, we do deserve respect. Just like how any other human being or any other ethnic people deserve respect. Okay. But due to systematic racism, the constant attacks, it's not going to be given to us. So, we got to take that.
Okay, well, slow down. Because I asked a specific question, you gave a specific answer. I asked, do today's black men deserve respect? And your response was, yes, they deserve respect, the same as every other ethnic group. All right, got it. I understand that. Can you explain to me, what is it that other men and other ethnic groups are doing that makes them worthy of respect?
Most ethnic groups, they still have their family structure tight. I would say that. So that's one thing that we can strengthen up on. But when I look at the attacks, the constant attacks, constantly, because other groups see us as a threat, media and everything else, we getting attacked on all corners. So I take that into consideration as well.
Okay.
On our condition.
Here's the issue I have here. The issue I have is that you started by saying that black men deserve respect for the same reasons other groups do. I then ask you, what are the other groups doing to get respect? And the first thing you do is tell me, well, they're doing things that we're not doing.
I mean, I'm not going to solely put it on they're getting respect because they have a family structure. I was just throwing that out there. But everybody, in my opinion, everybody deserves respect, just on a human, basic human level. We're not even getting in that.
Really?
You know what I mean? So
everybody
that,
deserves. You believe that everybody deserves respect.
As a on a human level, everybody deserves respect. As a basic, or a group, not every individual, but I believe every society deserves that basic human level of courtesy and respect.
Why?
Because we're all human beings.
Okay. So you believe that respect is a human right.
Yes.
All right. Then let me ask you one more question.
And if somebody infringes on that,
slow down. Mm-hmm. You have stated several times now. You didn't say it just once. You said it several times. You reworded it. You have said the exact same thing several times. It boils down to you are making the statement that respect is a human right. Therefore, the next thing I would like to ask you is, if respect is a human right, do you also respect the parents or grandparents who pass down no power, wealth, or influence to you? Do you honor their human right to respect?
every situation is different in that sense.
Sir,
I can't generally answer that for every single body.
Sir, if respect is a human right, then you are telling me now that you're telling me now that you have the ability to ignore their human right.
I would say yes. I do respect my great grandparents. I respect my grandparents and
how about your parents?
Yes, I do respect my parents.
Even if they have passed down nothing to you.
I still respect my parents.
Okay. And do you respect your racist school teacher?
Racist school teacher? No, I would not respect a racist school teacher.
But they have a human right to respect.
Yeah, on a basic, see, as a group, I thought we were talking about in general as a group. Now,
no, sir, I'm talking about as a group too, because you see, racism, we live in a system of white supremacy. The teacher is just one representative of that system, but they are representative of a system of society as a group. So yes, sir, I am totally accurate.
Okay, well, I can't sit here and say every white teacher I've had in my life was a racist.
Didn't ask you if everyone was. I didn't ask you if everyone was. However, we all agree that we live in a system of white supremacy. And since you live in a system of white supremacy, when you encounter a white supremacist, the question becomes, well, they're still human. Therefore, we need to respect they deserve the human right of respect. Correct?
Well, if they have a white supremacist mindset, I'm not going to respect that. The same way if a black teacher has a mindset to keep target black men to do, or black boys and black children and whatnot, to do things to them. Because I've had black teachers.
Okay, so what you just said is that respect is not a human right.
No, what I'm saying is that
what you just said
general level
is that respect is not a human right. That was what you just said.
Respect No, respect is a human right.
Okay.
When you infringe on that.
Oh, no. Because you see, your racist teacher cannot infringe on that. You can infringe on her human right to respect. She can't infringe on her own. You can't say that a person can infringe on their own human right. You can't say that. You can't say that a person is abused. If it's a human right, you can't say that person is abusing it. It's a right. If it's a right, then you don't get to set the parameters of it. Now, you were the one who used those words. Maybe you were not very clear on what those words actually mean or the ramifications of them. But you were the one who said several times, respect is a human right. And I am simply illuminating for you what human right really means. You can't sit up here and tell them if it's a human right, you can't give it to them and then take it away when you want to. It doesn't work that way.
Okay.
You can't say they've got it when you want them to have it and then say, okay, you don't have it when I don't want you to have it.
Well, if you respect somebody, like if I just meet somebody for the first time, I don't know this guy, I'm going to show him respect. I don't care who he is, right? Then if I turn around and I see him try to pickpocket me, okay, now we have a different conversation now. With the Native Americans, when they welcomed the Europeans for the most part with open arms, and what happened? You know what I mean? They learned their lesson, okay. But on that basic level, when you're meeting somebody, if you don't know who they are or what they're about and whatnot, you show a general level of courtesy. Now, what black men, for the most part, we don't even get that. And when it comes to that, because we don't get, like I said, a lot of groups are intimidated by black men. A lot of other groups see us as a threat. We're targeted that we're a small tribe, less than 1% of the global population.
Let me go ahead and remind everybody here. Respect is not given, respect is earned. And when you start off by saying that people have a right to be respected, that's where you've messed up. Now, if you want to say that they have a right to earn your respect, that's different. They have an opportunity to earn your respect. But to say that they get respect as a default, no. No, really, you don't. You really don't.
So is disrespect the default?
It may be.
So people get disrespected by default?
First of all, it may be. You know why? Because power does not respect weakness. Power only respects power. And if you are weak, then yeah, whatever it is that has made you weak, the default position of dealing with you may be disrespect. Let me give you an example. Let's just say that we're dealing with some old black person, and I tried to give you an opportunity before to divest yourself from this, and you didn't do so. So just understand this applies to you now, because you had an opportunity to say, that's not me. Unfortunately, this applies to you. Let's just say that we're dealing with some old nigga who never did nothing for us. And let's just say that he spent his whole life getting old. And let's just say that he told us that his contribution to us was, I spilled blood on everybody's bridge. I got my ass beat on everybody's bridge, so you young black folks can go shop at T-Mobile. Y'all should respect me. I got my ass whooped, so you can go to McDonald's and order a McGriddle. Yeah, there you go. So I'm supposed to respect him because he was so, quote, strong. His definition of strength was letting white folks sit up here and dance the Millie Rock on top of his head. That was his contribution. No, I don't respect him. I don't respect him because he's weak. My default position when I see him is contempt, even though he is no longer alive. Yes, sir, the default position when I take a look at a coward who will not stand up and defend his brothers, his women, and his children, and tells you that allowing himself to be abused and brutalized is a virtue? No, my default position when I encounter him is contempt. That's the default.
Yeah, but okay. And we're talking about black men in general as well.
When I see a group of black men who support Barack Obama, when I see a group of black men who dance for Kamala Harris, when I see a group of black men singing to us the virtues of interracialism at all costs, yes, my default, when I see that group, when I go to a shopping mall and they're sagging their pants, dressing like Migos, smoking weed, screwing around in a weak, helpless position, my instinct is not going to be respect. I am immediately going to harbor contempt and disrespect for them. Yes, sir, because they are weak. And the only thing they can do is make me weak. That's all. How in the world can I respect someone who has nothing to contribute to me but weakness? The moment I see him on sight is contempt. It's disrespect on sight. No, sir, he does not have a human right to be respected. When I see him, I am immediately analyzing him to determine if he should be respected. So you see, when you encounter other people, well, no, it's probably not good for them to just run up on you and try to bust your head open. But I will tell you that the default is not to respect you. The default is to first determine if you should be respected. It's not up to them to respect you. It is up to you to command respect. You don't have a human right to be respected. Okay. Your human rights don't mean anything if you cannot enforce them. Now that's reality. Let me say this again in case you all didn't hear that or you're just having a tough time believing it, because damn, this is reality. Ladies and gentlemen, you do not have any human rights that you cannot enforce. If you can't enforce your human right, then you don't actually have it.
Okay. And again, that goes back to when I said, black men, we deserve it. We deserve respect. And if other groups aren't willing to give us that respect, which they are not, then we got to take it. It goes back to, I'm not saying we just sit around just hoping with our fingers crossed that we get the respect. No, we got to get up off our ass and do what we got to do. And we take that respect by any means necessary. Because we deserve it. And if not, then everybody could just sit in the house crying and whatnot, and somebody get killed, everybody crying. No.
Respect is not given. Respect is earned. Power is not given. Power is taken. Any power that was given to you by someone else is not power. It is largesse. It is charity. But it's not power. Power is, the only true power is that which you gain and take for yourself. Because no one can take it away from you. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get a call from area code 612. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, my name is Ori. I'm calling from Minneapolis.
Okay, take your phone off a speaker. Everyone who is calling in, I don't care how fly you think your phones are not that great. If you're calling in, take your phones off speaker. Take them off of wireless, take them off of headsets. You need to talk directly into your phone. Okay. Apparently he doesn't want to say anything. Caller from area code 562. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Jamar from Long Beach.
Okay, is that Jamark from Long Beach?
Yeah, it's Jamar from Long Beach.
Okay, Jamark, and do today's black men deserve respect?
Yes, it's Jamar, and yes, I believe we do deserve respect.
Okay, and what is it that you believe black men are doing today that makes them worthy of respect?
Yeah, and so I have a two-pronged approach to that because as a black male in the community, I feel like as a member of it, I don't like what I see. I don't like these people out here, like people in our community or black men in our community that can't enunciate, don't have a strong vocabulary, a command of the English language, that are lackadaisical or don't have focus. But at the same time, I understand why they're in that position. So that's why I think we deserve respect, because there's external factors that are constantly at play that are not at play for other people. Like, we're playing the game on hard mode. You know, a lot of these immigrants are playing it on easy, and then white people are playing it on easy with the game genie. So it's like, do we have to regulate? We need to regulate each other, and we definitely need to get ourselves in check, because we just can't sit here and die.
Okay.
But at the same time,
sir, I asked,
okay,
once again, as I said here before, how old are you, Jamar?
I'm 35.
Yeah. Another one of these black males in his mid-30s. He's asked a question, and the first thing he does is launch off into a lecture. He completely ignores the question he was asked. Black males are not used to being listened to. And when they actually do have a chance to be listened to, they kind of just go hog wild. I'll try this one more time.
Well, actually,
Jamar,
I am used to being listened to, though, so let's not be.
We're not going to talk over the host. Do you understand that part?
Absolutely.
Okay. You were asked a question. You went meandering and babbling and rambling on, but you did not address the question. If you think you did, that's just a testament to poor childhood education, I suppose. You were asked a question. You were asked, what is it that black males today are doing that makes them worthy of respect? You launched off into an unassociated rant about something unrelated, about how other people got it easier. You said that we deserve respect. I then asked you, what is it that black men are doing that makes them worthy of respect today? And you didn't name a single thing. Would you like to take another crack at the bat to name just the thing? Name only the things that black men today are doing that makes them worthy of respect.
As a group, nothing.
Okay. That was what I asked before. The original question was, do black men deserve respect? Glad to see we wanted to make some addendums to that. Because the next thing that people need to understand is that when you say that we deserve respect, that's perfectly fine. I'm not here to say it's right or wrong. Although, the next question that it begs is, well, what exactly is it we're doing that makes us worthy of it? Because I'm fully willing to say, okay, you can have it if I can figure out why you should get it. And then I will apply that definition to everybody else. Because so if you say this is what black men are doing to get respect, or black men do, this is what black men are doing that makes them worthy of respect, I'm going to look at everybody else and say, okay, is this the standard? And that'll focus on it. That will determine everything else. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from area code 504. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Kevin, New Orleans.
Okay, get off the speakerphone. The next person who calls in and they are on the speakerphone and they're mumbling and got it up under their chins, I swear I'm going to just hang up on them. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm not on. Kevin from New Orleans.
Kevin from New Orleans. And are black men today worthy of respect?
I think they are.
Okay. Can you explain to us exactly what it is that black men today as a group are doing that in your mind makes us worthy of respect?
Okay. One, I think that black men of today are a little more aware of having children. I think that black men are also now less in the prison system and more in college. I think they deserve a little respect for that. I also think that I think that black men of today are more willing to listen and learn, and they're trying to figure their way out. So I think they deserve a little respect for that.
Okay, can you please explain? Can you
I
please
still see the
explain
glass
to
as a
me,
little half
sir? Can you explain to me how is it you measure all those things you just mentioned?
Well, I was reading that there are more black men in universities than jail.
That's all, sir. That's always been the case.
Okay, and also
that's not new.
With the I also think that as far as finances, I think that young black men of today are doing a lot better with their finances, and if we're going to have to take over something, getting our finances in order is definitely going to be one of the tools that we're going to need. I'm 50, so growing up in my day, I did not see a lot of young black men thinking of future investing, and I also think with the marketing skills that younger black men have today, it's extremely useful from the entertainment business. I think that they're learning to brand themselves and actually profit from that, and learning to cut out the middleman. Now, I'm not one that think that respect is deserved. I think it's a courtesy. You know, I think you do have to earn it, but I do see the glass as being half full.
Okay. So you believe that the condition of black males in America right now is getting better?
That's a tough question, but
that shouldn't be a tough question, because literally everything you just said was stating that our condition is getting better. That was literally everything you just said. But then when I actually put the question to you, so you're saying our condition is getting better, then it turns to, ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, you see, because the reason why I think that, because I'm conditioned like a lot of people to, when you ask about black men, to think of that negativity first. But yes, I do think that they're doing better. I think it's better than it was before.
Okay.
I think so. I think they deserve respect because I'm willing to give them respect because I know what they have to deal with more, as far as the system, who's continually changing laws and doing everything they can to beat them down. I think they deserve respect because if you don't give them some credit, well, I don't even say give, if acknowledge that, you know, the direction that I see some groups heading, then if we don't do that, then we really have no shot. So that's why I think they deserve some respect.
Well, you may be right about that. And how old are you?
I'm 50.
Okay. Do you have any children?
And I lived through the whole
I'm sure you
90s with the Biden prison system, and and the Kamala Harrises who built their careers off of
I'm certain that you did.
Louisiana.
How many children do you have?
I have 2 biological children.
Okay.
2 daughters.
And how many times have you been married?
I've never been married.
You have 2 children.
I was engaged to the second.
You have 2 children.
Mother,
you have 2 children and
yeah.
no wives.
No wife, right?
But you also believe that the generation after yours is doing better.
I think so, and especially judging by what I'm listening to now, I think a lot of young men are going to steer further away from having children out of wedlock, and that they'll think about it a little more, unlike our generation did.
Did you vote for Biden and Harris?
Yes, I voted for Biden and Harris.
I figured.
Well, I'll tell you why. It's not because my love
sir,
for the Democrats or Biden and
I
Harris.
already know why.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
All right. Why do you think? Why?
Because that's
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Because that's what old niggas do.
Oh no, that's not why, fella. I had to bite my tongue on that one to vote for that, literally. And the only reason, because a lot of people forget, most black people are conservative by nature or by religion. The only reason why is that I voted, it was to get Trump out of office due to the fact
that's what old niggas do.
Wait. Due to the fact only because I felt like being in Louisiana, I felt like it was funding private military. I also had a problem with Stephen Miller and knowing the history and that, this man was literally almost following some of Hitler's doctrine. And
so you voted for Joe Biden. You voted for the architect of 3 strikes.
Dangerous to have him in as a second term.
Yeah. So your solution to a guy, quote, that you say, quote, following Hitler's doctrine is to vote for the other guy who follows Hitler's doctrine.
And they damn near don't have much of a choice in that. Now,
actually, you do have a choice. You actually do.
I won't put the blame on Biden and Bill Clinton for the crime bill, if that's what you're referring to.
Sir, I said that I knew why you voted for them, and you said exactly what I said you were going to say.
Okay. All right, well, you guessed right then.
Thank you for giving us a call and for reminding us all why you can't trust these old niggas. He really just sat here and told you that he voted for the white supremacist he liked more. Trump and his people is white. Trump and Stephen Miller, they white supremacists. Okay. And so is Joe Biden. Well, yeah, I mean, you're right about that, but that's what old niggas who sit up here and drop a bunch of kids on a bunch of dumbass females, that's what they ultimately end up like. They ultimately end up like that. They ultimately end up talking to you crazy like that. And by the way, you all could tell I'm not guessing my way through it. That's why I was able to ask all the right questions the first time through. You got any kids? You ever been married? How old are you? Who'd you vote for? You see, when you got these old Negroes love to tell you that the young people today are doing good. What they really mean when they say that is, damn, y'all figured out a way to make it even though it didn't do nothing for you. Wow, that's really cool. You were able to figure out a way to thrive, and you were able to figure out a way to make it and survive, even though we didn't do a damn thing for you. Boy, y'all must be pretty good. That's what they mean. They love sitting up here not doing nothing for you, and if you make it, it's like, wow, thanks, that lets me off the hook. That show does let me off the hook. Whew. Thought you was gonna get to blame me for a minute there. I sure am glad y'all was able to figure out how to make it happen. So you won't be sitting around blaming me for what I didn't do for you. Y'all doing good. Old niggas love telling young folk how great they're doing. They love looking at the young people that they did nothing for and then telling you how great you're doing. And then you're supposed to just assume that you shouldn't expect anything from them. Why? Because you're doing so great. You're doing so great. Caller from area code 615. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Caller from 615 has been abducted. Caller from area code 404. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good evening, Mr. Black. This is Tina from San Antonio, Texas.
All right, Tina, get the phone back from your mouth a little bit.
Oh, sorry about that. Is that better?
She sounds like Ed McMahon on the mic, huh? She's real close. Tina from San Antonio. Hey, wait a minute. Is this that Tina?
I'm sorry, that Tina?
Is this Tony's Tina?
This is a Tina that knows a Tony.
What's on your mind, Tina?
Yes, thank you for taking my call. You asked the question, which I want to be germane to the topic. Do black men as a whole today deserve respect? And I got to be honest with you. You definitely asked a hard question in terms of a simple yes or no. I think I'm leaning more toward yes on that. I think that black men today do deserve respect. I think the problem is they just don't respect themselves. And I think that trickles down to a little word called humility and the lack thereof. And this is me coming from a Christian standpoint. Black men today, they want to chase their dreams. They want to chase women. They want to think they're rappers, this, that, and the third, instead of just accepting who they really are and then just being successful at that. Starting at home and then branching out into the community. Instead, they want to be superstars. And I think pop culture has a lot to do with that, but it's worse on black people. Advertising is more geared toward black people. We all know that, and women. And that's pretty much my short answer to that. I believe that black men do deserve respect. And I believe they deserve respect because black men are stepping up. Despite, I would have to agree with the brother that called in, that I was agreeing with up until he started talking about black women, and then I just tuned out. I didn't like that. But when he said, that, when you look at, the whole pull-up season and just what black men are doing now, but not just that, but we did withstand a lot. The 400 years, the Jim Crow.
Remember when I said that the black males tend to go on for a while when you give them the opportunity to speak? I wasn't limiting that to just black males. But by the way, if you thought it was confined only to black males, no, I'm just focusing on black men tonight because you know how it is. We don't divert and change subject. But just so you'll all be aware, it's not strictly confined to black males. Just so you'll be aware. It's not strictly confined there.
Well, that's what I had to say in terms of the question. So I will pause there. And I do have one more question now.
I'm sure you have a bunch of questions, Tina. I'm certain you do. You mentioned that from the beginning here, as you were prattling along, you were mentioning that the problem that you saw why black men don't give respect is because of a lack of humility. You then went into detail to name exactly what the characteristics were. I even took them down as you said it. You said that they want to chase dreams, chase women, be rappers, instead of, quote, being successful at who they are. Not really clear what that last one there meant, but I do want to back up for just a moment here, because I do think that actually raises a very good question here. So we can find out exactly what you mean by that. So you think that it's lacking in humility for a black male to chase his dreams?
That's a good question.
That's not. That's not just a good question. It's a direct one. Is what you said.
It doesn't have a simple answer.
Of course, it does have a simple answer. It was very simple when you said it. You said that it was lacking humility. You then went on to say that the traits of lacking humility is they want to chase dreams, they want to chase women, they want to be rappers. So I want to start with that first one. So you say it is a man lacks humility if he chases his dreams.
If it is an empty dream, yes.
If it's an empty dream, okay. Who are you?
Yes.
Who are you to determine or decide what is an, quote, empty dream for a black man?
I'm one who have witnessed failure. I'm no authority on it. I am no authority on it. I will admit that, Jason. I am one who has just witnessed failure over a period of time.
Okay, but that does not answer my question. I asked you, who are you to decide that a man's dream is empty?
All right, Jason, I'll submit I am no one to decide that a man's dream is empty.
Why do you say that?
Why do I say that I'm no one to make that decision?
Yes. Why do you say that?
Well, because first of all, it's not my dream. I say that because honestly, it really isn't my dream. And I can support my man, but I can't stand in his shoes. I can't see down the same path that he's looking. I don't have all of the same abilities that he has. So, all I can do is support and witness, for the most part, anyway.
Okay. Now, let me explain to you what's wrong with what you just said there, Tina. Although I think this is a good opportunity to have a teaching moment. A woman is in no position to tell a man whether or not he should pursue his dreams. You're not in a position to do that. That's not your place as a woman. Let me say this a different way. As a woman, you are incapable. You are incapable of determining for a man what is empty for him and what is not. You're incapable of determining that. Men have abilities, attributes, characteristics that women do not have. We're able to make things happen that women cannot do. You will never see the world from a driven man's perspective. You will never know what it's like to accomplish what a driven man accomplishes. As a woman, we can do things you cannot do. Since we can do things you cannot do, that means we know things you don't know. Now, I can tell you, let me give you an example. If I put a 300-pound weight in front of you, a 300-pound barbell, and told you to pick it up, I can tell you to pick it up. Tina can sit there until she puts her spinal column into a bind. But all I can do is tell you to pick it up. But you can't do it. Now, when I walk over and pick it up, you can see me pick it up. But that doesn't mean you can do it. And I can't teach you how to pick that thing up. You can talk about powerlifting or whatever for females, but if you're not capable, you can't do it. I can show you, I can have you watch videos, I can tutor you. Well, snatch like this. Bottom line, if you can't get it up in the air, you can't get it up in the air. If you can't pick it up, you can't. That's what that means. As a man, I know things you don't know. I understand things you don't understand. And whatever I'm pursuing is probably something that you would not do. That's the first reason why it wouldn't work. So you are not capable of determining for a man what a man is able to do. Furthermore, that is not what females do. But what does the females do? Females determine whether or not he's gaining results. Now that you as a female can do. Your job intrinsically is to render the final judgment of whether or not he's brought home the bacon. You can't decide if his method of doing it is correct or not. You can't decide if it's effective. You can't decide if it's the right one. What you can decide is whether or not he got it done. Now that you can do. You're not here to tell him if he's doing it right. You're simply here to determine, did it get done? But you cannot decide what dreams he should pursue. That's not your place. You're out of your place. Your job is to determine, did he get the results from pursuing them? That's it. You're not here to determine if he's spinning his wheels or not. You're not here to determine if it's the right thing. You're not here to determine if he's worthy. You're not here to determine if he's capable. You are incapable of being able to determine any of those things. So you can't look at a man and decide, well, he's not able to do this. That's not your place. All you can really do is say whether he got it done. And that's it. Now, about this thing about dreams, I'm just going to be totally honest with you here, Tina, and I know that you have had a bit of a revelation of recent as some of your associates have been making me aware, much to my chagrin. Chagrin, nothing, outright despair. But we'll talk about that some other time.
I know what chagrin means.
Oh, good, because that's the expression on my face right now. In any case, women tend to be dream killers for males. And black women in particular tend to be habitual dream murderers.
Oh. Oh my. May I ask a question, please?
I haven't finished speaking. Women today, as a group, and black women in particular, tend to specialize in being habitual serial dream killers of men. And then they get upset when that man picks up his dreams and takes them to someone else. No, that doesn't sound very that's not very flattering to hear that. That's not very flattering. But it's reality. The problem with black women being habitual complainers and whiners is that no man wants to open up. Dreams are what fuel a man. Dreams are what drive him. That is what he's doing for himself. And you are a beneficiary of what he does for himself. But when you are someone who specializes in killing people's dreams, specialize in murdering them, specialize in diminishing them, he's going to have one of two choices. He's either going to abandon his dreams or he's going to abandon you. And black women today are the poorest women on the planet. You know why? Because the dream chasers do not feel safe in their presence. And they don't stop dreaming. They just pick up their dreams and transport them to someone who will take care of them, or hopefully take care of them. Then the complaints change. Well, all the fellows want to run somewhere different when they get on, as opposed to you as a woman specializing in being the best place for him to bring his dreams, because that's what will fuel him. Now, we're not talking about the 40-year-old rapper who's still trying to get his record deal. That guy's not dreaming. He's just delusional. And probably lazy. Because if he was really putting that much hustle behind it, he wouldn't be 40 still chasing that dream. He'd already have it. That's the difference. But the women today specialize in questioning men's drive, questioning what they're doing, disputing it, and not looking to see are there results. They judge it first. If you're not doing what she thinks you should be doing, or even if you're succeeding at it, she wants you to stop doing that so you can go dote and spend a bunch of time on her. And that's not the way it works. That's not the way it works effectively. And I am sure that you have had a man who informed you that you were not really the safest, most healthy thing for his dreams. And that's not where you wish to be. To speak disparagingly of a man who chases his dreams, that's a specific phrase. You didn't invent that phrase. That phrase means something. A man is supposed to have dreams. You know why that's important, Tina? Because if you're lucky one day, if you're lucky, and if I have any chance to steer Tony in a different direction, I will. I will. But Tony has been dreaming on your behalf. He doesn't have it yet. But he is putting all the building blocks in place, and he is accomplishing step by step. He's gaining one result and a bigger result and another progressively bigger result, because Tony is dreaming. But he's doing what's necessary to put the work behind his dreams so that his dreams become his life. You want a man who does that. You want a man who chases things that are not there. You want a man who dreams of buying a BMW 7 Series. You want a man who aspires to things. Nobody is born having it all. You want the guy who doesn't have it, but he's got the most there is one thing he does have that's most important: drive. But that drive is not fueled by you. That drive is fueled by him and his dreams. And if you are lucky, you can be incorporated into it, if you're fortunate. But if you become a dream killer, then just understand he will not stop dreaming. He will just stop dreaming for you. Now, what was it you wanted to ask me?
Well, first of all, I just want to say that because I too have dreams, but that's neither here nor there. But I said that to say that I relate 100%. I've only had, because you said that, you could bet that a man has said something like this similar to me before. And this isn't me trying to just give you a rebuttal or trying to pat myself on the back, but I assure you 100%, I fully support my mate's vision. And that goes doubly for Tony. I've only had 2 adult relationships in my life, and Tony is definitely one of them. And I stood there. Whatever he was doing, I was right there, and it didn't work out. And I don't want to say blame, but I put issues on both parts, going for me as well. I had issues, he had issues, whatever. But I definitely will not say it's because I was trying to kill his dreams. I look at Tony and I see a genius. And I told him that from the day I first met him and we first became friends. And I tell him that to this day because he is extremely intelligent. And sometimes from the woman's perspective, it hurts to see such extraordinary intelligence and ability not be, I guess, where you thought they would be at their age, especially when you are a woman of a certain age looking for that family, looking for stability. Because, you know, you say women want a lot of things, but I never heard you say that women want stability, because I promise you that is number one on the list.
No, it is not.
It's stability.
No, it is not.
It is.
No, that is not what women of this era
And
today.
men are not offering stability.
Tina, pump your brakes.
Mhm.
Women of today do not want stability. They want, quote, freedom. They want excitement. They want thrills. And they want debauchery and to indulge their darkest gutter urges. Now, they need, Tina, if you talk again while I'm speaking, I am going to make your evening. Women need stability, but the women of today do not want it. They need it. They really do need that to be the priority, but they only desire stability after they've screwed up everything else as a last resort. But they don't want it. Take a look at the decisions that women make when they are at the apex of their sexual prime and social abilities. Not a one of them is seeking stability. They want attention, they want sexual thrill seeking, and you should know all about that, because that's what you did. But you didn't want security until life beat you into the concrete like a bug under a combat boot. Then when that occurred, all of a sudden, you wanted salvation. You wanted to be saved. You call it security. You really mean to be rescued. But you don't care about security, except when it's convenient and suits you. But if you had the option, you go right back to thrill seeking. The only problem is thrill seeking, like it always does, eventually it runs out, because the people that you depend on for thrills, well, they're not stable. And you all love instability. As long as the instability doesn't become fatal. And it's only once the instability becomes fatal, all of a sudden you start yelling and running and talking about, where the stable men's at? Well, you abandoned all of them and bypassed all of them and abused all of them and disrespected all of them. That's where the stable men are. They are right there where they've always been. You just never respected it and never wanted it until finally life got so bad that you said, oh, damn it, all right, I'll take it. But it's not because you want it. It's because you don't want your ass kicked anymore by your unstable, exciting, thrill-seeking, attention-giving buddies. But you don't like stability. You don't want stability. You need it. But you don't want it. Because if a person wants stability, they get someone who is stable.
Or they say, I'm sorry.
Sounds like you're playing dominoes back there. Should I leave you alone to that?
I'm going back inside. It's raining terribly in San Antonio right now. I'm back inside. It was just loud rain, water coming from my gutters.
I am very glad that at some point you woke up long enough to actually value what you have in Tony. You have not treated Tony the best. You certainly have not treated him like he is indispensable or like the last train leaving. Although I do think in recent years, particularly recent months since you started talking to me, you've had an epiphany. You do understand that Tony and I recently had a heart-to-heart.
Oh, yes, I do. And I heard a snippet of it, but I have to go back and listen. As you know, that program was 4 hours long.
Oh, that's quite all right. I'll be
listen.
quite happy to give you the Cliff Notes version now. I told Tony he needs to make you his side chick.
No. Well, that's not going to happen, but
if
I
have anything to say about it, it will. If I have any influence at all, it will. Any at all. Now, you might figure out a way to circumvent that. And lately, I've become despondent about it because Tony said some things that, quite frankly, broke me there. It really did. Y'all, we lost Tony to the streets. I feel like we lost Tony to the streets. I feel like we did. I don't know what more I could have did, but I'm like, I done lost him to the streets. There she is. Tony has informed me that apparently you have picked up a sunnier disposition. You have been far more agreeable. You've even taken to cooking and nurturing lately. Sounds like you
I'm from the South.
You wasn't always like that. So being from the South, obviously that didn't do it for you. Because you wasn't always like that. This is a recent advent.
Not only did I cook for him, but I respected his no meat diet and went out and got turkey bacon and stuff like that I don't even do from North Carolina. I'm from North Carolina where we eat pork.
Okay.
And I've even cooked for him and respected his diet.
Tina, turkey is a meat.
What I meant was pork and beef. What I meant was pork and beef. I know turkey is a meat. I meant pork and beef.
If you all hear a big thunk, that's me falling over on the floor, basically. So if you hear a sound like something clumping and collapsing, that's me. It's not the microphone. It's just me falling over. But all right, I'm trying to stay upright. Tina.
But you're right. I was not. What I did to him back then was dirty, and for which I've apologized several times.
Not enough.
May I say something? Or
if you are very, very lucky, Tony will give you a side chick position. If you are miraculously lucky, he might give you something more than that. Because Tony is entering a new tax bracket. And he is going to have the opportunity to meet younger, fitter females who are in a hell of a lot better shape, financially, emotionally, and otherwise. And he doesn't have such a torturous history with them. And that last thing, that's going to be the real hurdle to get over. Now, I'm not going to say you can't do it. I'm not going to say it's not possible. I am going to tell you I would advise you not to get arrogant at all. Because you don't see him the way I do. I know what it's like to be a black male in your mid-30s and you are hitting your financial stride, which is exactly where Tony is, which is exactly what I've been teaching you all for years. He's hitting his mid-30s. He's heading towards his peak value. His options in females have never been bigger than they are about to be. You're just a chick he met out of high school. He ain't have no damn options. He's about to figure out what his options really are. And I don't know where you're going to... And I don't know where you're going to fall in that hierarchy once he actually starts getting opened up to some real options. I don't know if you're going to make the cut anymore. I don't. Now, I will not necessarily send him running the other direction, although if I have the opportunity, I damn sure will. What I am going to say is, if you do get him, you will have to earn him. And that's perfectly fine by me, because you have abused your opportunities. And maybe if you have to fight and work for him, you will appreciate what you have. And it will prevent you from ever again attempting to do what you did before. I believe that, I know, not I believe, sacrifice is how you get people to respect something. And I intend to make you sacrifice as much as humanly possible for him. Because you won't appreciate it any other way. And if you are lucky, then Tony will upgrade your life. If you're lucky. Oh, I know what you've been doing. You've been working your little sexual sorcery and been sitting up here going through your Betty Crocker cookbook and all of those stuff. And let me tell you, that's powerful. It sure is. But I know better than that, Tina. I know that females in your position, they act like model citizens until they get what they want. Then once they got it, all of a sudden it's back to business as usual. The past is the best indicator of the future. I am not going to tell Tony what he should do. I will certainly attempt to influence him. I'm not going to make him do one thing or the other. He has to live his life. And if he chooses to be with you, he certainly can. But I will make sure that he is aware of all the options that he has. And I'm saying this publicly because I want you to be aware that Tony is aware of the options he has. So, one more thing. If you do believe that Tony is so valuable, do you believe that Tony should have the best?
I do.
I'm glad to hear that. And just out of curiosity, do you believe that's you?
That I am the best compared to what?
That you are the best Tony can do.
Wow. That's a good question.
That's a good question. You already know the answer. Why are you saying it's a good question? You already know the answer.
I think that I am the best for Tony.
I didn't ask if you... No, that's your opinion. I think I'm the best for him. I asked you, do you think that you are the best he can do? We know he's the best you can do. The question is, are you the best that he can do?
Considering what gives a woman her value, I would say no. I believe that, yes, he can do better.
Take a look on your screen right now, dear.
I'm looking at this. Oh, it's not.
Understand, that's an archetype of your competition. And if you know for a fact Tony can do better, just understand this is the only help I'm going to give you. If you know your man can do better, it is your job to make sure that there isn't something better. That's your job. Tony is about to have a 5-star life. He's going to have a 5-star house, a 5-star car, 5-star clothes. What makes you think he doesn't want a 5-star woman? Right now, he doesn't because he's only been with a couple of females and you were fortunate enough to grab him because single moms look for little shy dudes. that they can grab before he actually gets any real world experience. So you were really good about hunting that one. You sure were. For those of you who are members of my Patreon, you can go there and watch that program too. That's what single moms do. They know the right kind of guys to go stalk and run down and whatnot. They look for little recessive, shy dudes who are socially awkward and grab him before he realizes he can do better. So she becomes his only experience, and thus she becomes in charge emotionally of the relationship. So they know how to pick him. They know how to grab him. Problem, Tony's entering his 30s now, and he's becoming more aware of what he can do. So I will give you one bit of advice, Tina. If you are not the best he can do, then I recommend that you spare no horses to become the best he can do. That's not his job, that's yours. I have it under extremely good authority. This is the last train leaving for you. If that man gets up and walks, for whatever reason, it's going to be a long, lonely road. But you already know this. So, you have been adjusting your attitude as of late. That's very, very nice. You have also been adjusting your disposition toward him. It's actually gone very well. He had nothing but good things to say about you, which broke my soul, I must say. Be that as it may, just be aware you're not out of the woods yet. I have it under good authority that you are still tipping the scales of the size 16.
12.
And we all know if they say size 12, it's really 16. Have you forgotten I've seen pictures of you?
I have not forgotten. That was several months ago.
Okay. How tall are you
and
again?
I will admit, I'm sorry.
How tall are we?
5'7".
And how much do we weigh?
220 pounds.
Uh-huh.
I'm working on it. My treadmill was just delivered today. I'll just throw that in there for good measure.
5'7". 220 pounds. Run, Forrest. Run.
So glad I have thick skin to an extent.
You're going to be around this neck of the woods. You damn well better. Baby, I don't know who you think you fooling with that 220 size 12. 5'7". Size 12 is going to be somewhere closer around 190 pounds.
Women are
if you don't
stop, proportioned differently.
If you don't
a
quit.
lot of my weight is in my butt and my thighs. I don't have a stomach. I don't have a pot belly. A lot of my weight is my butt, my thighs, and I have bust size.
Tina, first of all, your bust doesn't go into your pants, although in your case it might. I'm not sure. But there was no reason to even say that. Your bra has nothing to do with your pant size, ma'am. Tina, I'd like to show a picture of you to the audience, and I will let them decide if this is a size 12 or greater than.
Before you do, may I ask
Whoa,
a question?
okay, wow, all right. She didn't just go ahead and she didn't give an enthusiastic yes. I just want you all to understand. She didn't give an enthusiastic yes. She said, wait now before you get there. All right.
Well, you just said that you saw me from several months ago. I don't know how old this picture is.
Ma'am,
You're
ain't
putting
a
up.
damn thing changed. Ain't a damn thing changed. I already talked to Tony. The fact you telling me your treadmill was delivered today, ain't a damn thing changed. You don't need a treadmill to do that. The way you lose weight is by changing your diet. Exercise is a great accelerant, but the bottom line is you lose weight by what you eat.
Agreed.
Okay, and we know you've been cooking and eating. And that's what you do.
I don't eat big meals
Baby,
every day.
you are 220 pounds.
I am.
Okay. She weighs as much as the UFC light heavyweight, the UFC heavyweight champion. Not even the light heavyweight champions. The light heavyweight champion, John Jones, is 205 pounds as the light heavyweight division. The heavyweight division is 220, 225. I want you all to understand that. By the way, I am being nice about that. In mixed martial arts, in the UFC, the light heavyweight division is 205. The heavyweight division is, I forget if it's 220 or 225. That's the heavyweight division. 225. You are 5, and we're talking about with dudes who are 6'1", 6'2". You're a female. You're 5'7". You weigh as much as the UFC heavyweight champion, and telling us, "Oh, it's all in my rear end." That's not even possible. That's not even possible. And by the way, I say this to help you. By the way, I say it to help you. Because I don't want you to be delusional. Yeah, your cooking is great and everything, but just understand, Tony's going to want a badass broad with him. He's going to want a female who matches his accomplishments in life. And Tina's got the last train leaving. She needs to focus on what really matters to him, not what she thinks should matter to him. Because let's be very, very clear, dear, his upward mobility is going to be far higher than yours. Far higher. Tony is the workhorse, not you. Tony is going to be the breadwinner, not you. Not now, not tomorrow, not next year, never. He's going to be the one who pulls the freight. Your job is to inspire him and motivate him to continue getting up every day and pulling the freight. That's your job. And you don't get to decide what should motivate him and whether he's getting enough of it. He's the one who decides that. So what I am going to tell you is, I couldn't help but notice you have worked on everything except the physical part. Well, I'm working on it. Okay. I am not going to say whether or not you do or don't. Although it's very obvious from what you just told me numerically, and not a lot's been done. I am going to tell you that you understand this gets harder as you get older, and Tony's not going to wait around forever. Which is why I said, if you are going to be tipping the scales at that weight, then we might want to go ahead and let you apply for a side chick position. We might want to do that. Something you can fit in. Something you can maintain.
I'd rather die alone, as you and other rude callers have said. I will either be a wife or I will be single. It's really just that simple.
Here's the issue with the statement you just made. You don't get to decide that.
No one can make me be a side chick.
Okay, but you can't make someone make you a wife. Now you can be made into a side chick. Oh yes, you can. You sure as hell can. Oh yes, ma'am. You can be made into a side chick. You damn well can. You can be made into a side chick against your will. It happens every day. Most of the females who are side chicks didn't know they were. So yes, ma'am, and that can be you. And that can be you. So let's just be very clear about that. Ma'am, let's just be very, very clear. You don't get to choose whether you become a wife. This is not a matter of, well, I'll choose to be a wife or I'll choose to be alone. No, the men are going to make all those choices. You will find out what the verdict is, but you don't have a say. You don't get to tell a man, so we gonna get married this summer. No, that's not your choice. You can hope he will make you a wife, but no, not really. It doesn't go that way. And I'm just gonna tell you right now, a fat bank account and a fat wife don't mix. They really don't. And I'm not being mean. What I'm saying is, if you are really serious about reforming yourself, you need to get serious about the things that really matter. All kidding to the side. I couldn't help but notice with everything else you were doing, you've refused to address the most important thing, which is how you represent him publicly. You're trying to rely on an emotional connection. You're trying to rely on your domestic skills. But you are dismissing that Tony is continuing to evolve. He's continuing to improve. He will catch the attention of younger, fitter females who are clean slates, don't have no kids, and don't have a bad history of abusing him. That's what you're going to be up against. Those females are going to approach him. And guess what? They're going to be like, well, he's a little shy and socially awkward. I bet you I can peel him. I bet you I can take him from her. And let's just be very, very clear about that statement you just made a few moments ago. I'd rather be alone than be a side chick. You're a baby mama. You already are one. So you already accepted that once. So Try the bluff somewhere else. You've already done it once. You'll do it again. Especially if you have no choice. If you were really willing to accept that, you wouldn't be so worried about him now. You really wouldn't be. If that was it. It would be safer for you to just accept being by yourself and just not worrying about him. And you just see him when he comes through, if he comes through. That is not what you've been trying to do. You've been trying to land him.
I will admit that no, I have not. I have been trying to do the opposite of being alone. No, I do not choose to be alone. That is not what I want. I just compared it to knowingly being a side chick. But
you got to where you are today with him by listening to me. You listened to what I said. You went back and you did it. I will freely admit I didn't think you would. I didn't think you were going to do it for a moment. Or maybe I was just hoping you would. Maybe I was just hoping you wouldn't do it because I'm like, damn, I'm messing this nigga over. Well, you went right back and executed exactly what I told you, apparently with frightening efficiency. With a terrifying level of accuracy. So you certainly have bought yourself more time. I am just here to inform you of one more thing we didn't discuss before. You've bought yourself time. You haven't won the game yet. And if that number on the waist of your trousers doesn't drop into single digits, you will lose the game because Tony is changing. He is becoming more vocal. He is becoming more driven. He is becoming more sociable. He is becoming a bigger person. And he is going to catch the attention of other females who, as you know, are going to pull out all the stops to pull him because there are not enough Tonys to go around. And you will lose at all the things that don't require domestic skills. If you truly wish to keep Tony, then it goes back to what I said. Are you the best he can do? Because we already know he's the best you can do. And truth be told, he's better than you deserve, but he's the best you can do. The real question is, are you the best he can do? If you do not wish to lose him, show him respect. The first show of respect is showing him that you represent him well. That means when you walk through the door. That needs to be your priority. And Tony will respect and appreciate that because of how much work it took for you to get there. And that will matter to him. If you refuse to specialize at this, it becomes difficult. I say it becomes difficult to keep from saying game over. So, I couldn't help but notice that after I talked to him, we did discuss a good many things about you, but one of the things we also discussed is that your size has not come down. You have worked on everything else. That is good. That bought you more time. It bought you time to get into the single digits. Once you do that, you will have your best chance of being able to retain him.
May I say something, please?
You can say two things.
Oh, bonus. First thing that I wanted to say was to address the weight, and this is just me here being transparent. It is a sacrifice, as I believe you mentioned earlier. It's a huge, huge sacrifice in terms of weight loss, especially for me, not because of the food, but because I am a drinker and it does run in my family. And I believe that the sugar from the alcohol plays a huge role in it.
Now, this I did not know. I remember seeing some pictures. I intimated that, but I did not think that you had a chronic drinking issue.
I do like to have a drink. I don't.
Okay. You are going to have to get accustomed to clean living. The only liquid that needs to pass between your lips is fruit juice, not juice and gin. Water is what you need to be drinking.
I do drink a lot of water.
As a female, first of all, that's masculine as hell for a female to be drinking. That's the first thing. It's masculine for a female to be drinking and smoking. There's nothing feminine about that. And just understand, the first time that Tony gets to snuggle up with something that's 24 years old, soft and cuddly, don't drink like a fish or smoke like a chimney. Baby, you didn't lose him. She didn't disqualify you. You disqualified yourself. That's called not competing. So you know full well that ain't gonna work. So if you got any habits of any kind, that includes drinking, smoking, drugs, anything else, you got any habits, you need to drop those. You need to be the most clean living heifer in San Antonio. If you don't, another female will. That's really your options. You're just waiting until he bumps into another chick who sees that he is recessive, and then she basically does what all of y'all do, and she just decides to pull him. And then he'll be like, damn, it's really nice to have somebody who don't smell like Bartles and James. Or at least I don't have to deal with that. Well, Tina's real nice and everything, but this one over here is better. Yeah, I mean, Tina's cool. What's wrong with Tina? She's cool people, but this one over here is better. And your job is to prevent that from occurring. So I can tell you, and I can tell you this is an issue. Your job is to make sure that doesn't happen. So Tina, you know First of all, drinking is not good, period. It's not good internally, much less externally. That's not good. It's not good. You need to let all of that go. Any habits you have or whatever. You need to be drinking water, fish, and leafy vegetables. And that needs to be your new diet. And you need to learn to love it. And as a female, you are actually biologically predisposed to have that anyway. Y'all are eating a bunch of stuff that females aren't even supposed to be having. Females aren't supposed to be tanking up on high protein, alcohol, and sugars. That's not even what a female diet is supposed to be. Now, you can type in the chat room or you can listen to me. What's it going to be?
I'm actually multitasking, but I choose to listen.
You don't multitask
What?
with me, ma'am, because you ain't doing very good at being able to do two things at once now. If you were, you'd be able to diet and exercise. So far, we ain't got neither one of those done. You got cooking, diet, and exercise. So far, you're not multitasking very well at all. So don't delude yourself. If you were really able to multitask, you'd be a size 6 with washboard abs. Or at least a discernible waistline. None of the above. I meant what I said. You don't need to be eating a bunch of meats. You need to be sitting up as a female. You really should have a more vegetable diet, period. You're supposed to be on water, and that's it. If you're going to have meat, fish, and eggs, okay, stick to your white meats, and that's it. Not even really chicken, to be totally honest with you, but definitely light meats. Yes, that as a female, that's what you're supposed to be doing. Men can sit up here and tank up on protein. We've got 50% more muscle than you do, and we develop it differently, and we're carrying around metric tons of testosterone. As a female, you're not built to be doing all this masculine stuff. We're not supposed to have interchangeable diets. You do something different than us. Your body is supposed to be doing something different. You sitting up here with a bunch of masculine habits. And by the way, if you're exercising masculine habits, you can't tell me that you're not acting in a masculine manner. Well, I can cook for him and whatnot. Okay, there's a bunch of masculine broads who can cook out there at the Five and Dine Diner. You don't want to be that. You'll wind up losing him to a 25-year-old who can't boil a hot dog. And wouldn't that be a damn shame? And you'll be sitting here boo-hooing and singing the blues talking about what she wasn't doing. Okay, but she beat you because of some of the other things she wasn't doing. So, if you wish to make excuses, go right ahead. If you think that a treadmill is going to outrun a bad diet, if you think you can outwork a bad diet, try it. But you know full damn well, if you've been to a doctor, the first thing the doctor asks you is, do you smoke, do you drink, do you have any habits? You know this. And if you've been to a doctor in the last year or two, you know he's asked you this. Do you smoke? Do you drink? And the first thing he's going to tell you is you need to stop. And you know this.
Absolutely. I've also been to a trainer and I've seen the difference, and he has said the same thing about trying to outrun a diet. I fasted from alcohol and from meat, and the weight change was it was more than noticeable. So that goes without saying.
How much does Tony weigh?
You know, I don't know how much he weighs, but I can describe him.
How tall is Tony?
If you'd like. Let's see. I'm 5'7", so that would probably make Tony about 5'5.5", 5'6".
Okay. You weigh more than Tony.
I believe it.
I know you do. Think about that for a few moments. I don't say that to be humiliating. I say that because I don't know what it will take to drive you and to drive a sense of urgency. But let's just be very, very clear. Just because he's tall as Kevin Hart, Kevin Hart can pull too, by the way. You will not lose this game to other females. You will lose it to yourself. I helped you the last time I talked to you, and you used it to remarkable results. You will undo all of that progress if you do not fix this last problem. He is getting better. He is becoming more confident. He is eventually either deliberately or accidentally going to strike up a conversation with somebody else. Whether he pursues it or whether he succeeds in pursuing it is going to depend on you. A man wants a badass broad next to him. If he's living,
I want to be that badass next to him.
Then don't talk about it. Be about it. Did you get that?
I did.
Then, Tina, I am going to challenge you to fix that. It is now April. You are currently the size of a small passenger car. There is no reason whatsoever that you cannot rectify this within the next 6 calendar months. No reason at all that you cannot lose 40 pounds in 6 calendar months. None. None. If you are the least bit interested, you can do it. I want you to call me back in July.
Now, is this some sneaky way to keep me from calling and nagging you on your topics for 6 months?
No, you're welcome to call in. But
I will call back.
I'm sure you will. You and Golightly. There are only 3 constants in the universe: death, taxes, and calls from Golightly and Tina. So I have grown weary of the idea that I will escape it. I should hear back from you in 90 days. In 90 days, you should, if you are a size 12, there is no reason on this planet that you can't get from size 12 to size 8 in 12 weeks. None. If you're actually a size 12, which I know you're not. You're a 14, 16. But you should.
When I put on my clothes, I put on a size 12 every day.
Size 12 jeggings. just because Lane Bryant puts a 12 on it in any case. By July, you should be at least a size 8. If you're coming down from a size 16, you should be down to a size 10. There should be a demonstrable difference. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to send me a picture of yourself tonight holding up the peace sign with your left hand. It needs to be a picture of you in the mirror from the waist. A picture of you in the mirror from the waist up. Holding up a peace sign with your left hand.
I thought I was off the hook tonight.
No, ma'am, you are not off the hook. You are a trout. You can wriggle all you would like. Tony, I'm doing this for your damn good. I really am, bro. I'm going above and beyond.
Yeah, you almost got Tony in trouble the other night. I couldn't believe he called in and didn't give me a heads up.
I almost got him in trouble. Ma'am, Tony runs the yard. What are you talking about? Tony runs the yard. You don't make no rules around here. You still thinking that Tony was that little old punk you was sitting up here getting over on 5 years ago. No, baby, Tony runs the yard. And Tony's listening to me now, so just to make it very, very clear, he can't get in no trouble. Tony's got my permission to bring broads home with him. Tony doesn't, let me be very, very clear. Tony has nothing to prove to you. Nothing. You're the one who needs to prove something to him. You're the one who needs to prove that you deserve to be with him. Tony don't have to prove nothing to you. All Tony has to do is continue progressing, continue producing. That's all. ALL. The only thing he has to do is to double his income every 24 to 36 months. That is it. He don't have to do a damn thing beyond that he doesn't want to do. And you will be grateful. You will be happy, you will smile, and you will be grateful. Even if he makes you a third wheel, you will be the happiest third wheel in Texas. And that's real ass talk. It really is. How old are you, Tina?
36.
How many kids you got, Tina?
1.
If you don't sit up here and stomp your feet and cheer and holler that you got an opportunity to have a Tony at a sterling size 16, a size 12 that can pass for 16. If you don't sit up here and show some gratitude, no, ma'am, he doesn't have anything to prove to you except that he can continue producing at a high level. That's all he needs to prove to you. He doesn't have to prove anything. You know why? Because he's already done more for you than your damn baby daddy did. He's at least giving you the hope that there's a man who will claim you. And somebody else's child. Who don't work at Five Guys, a man who don't work at Five Guys or on a forklift. Ma'am, he doesn't have to prove anything to you. You are great. You should be grateful and fortunate that he gives you the time of day. Your baby daddy ain't never tried to upgrade your life. Ever. And you chose, that was the guy you actually wanted. You didn't actually want Tony. You screwed Tony over. You didn't actually even want Tony. The guy you wanted, he's the one who helped you to achieve your goal of screwing up your life. No, ma'am, Tony owes you nothing. You gonna get up every day, sacrifice, drop your bad habits, so that you can hope that Tony will keep you around in any capacity. And you know why? Because if you left Tony tomorrow, you think there's something else better waiting for you out here? You think there's some other dude who can't wait to get his hands on a 36-year-old size 16 baby mama from Texas? You think there's some other, you think that's what's waiting out here for you? You think there's some wealth of dudes out here making 6 figures waiting to come scoop you up at 36? You think that's what's going to happen? Go try it. Go for it. Go, you already know. Go try it. You might find some bum on unemployment willing to lay up with you. What you will not find is somebody willing to spend time with your little kid who ain't even his, while this man can do so much better. Yeah, you are correct in what you said before. Humility certainly is a problem today. You're absolutely right. And I want women like you to start being grateful for the Tonys of this world. Because you all disrespected them heinously. I'll be damned if you will be anything but grateful to him now. You will be grateful. If he gives your life purpose by allowing you to get in front of a stove and cook, you will be grateful for that. Because the man that you chose never did anything for you. And that was the one you actually want. The one you wanted, the one that made your butterflies in your stomach and made you quiver and your knees knock together and melt. Yeah, that nigga left your ass sitting there with a kid and that was it. And you've been trying to figure out how to get out of debt and everything else ever since. Ever since. Those are not wounds that Tony did. You're hoping that Tony can help you patch some things together. yeah, you don't make any rules. Tony makes all the rules. If you're lucky, Tony will have a chick he see every once in a while, and he'll come, quote unquote, home to you. And I suggest you take him up on his that's a risk you take. And I'm not going to say he's doing it or would, though I would strongly encourage him to. But if he doesn't, you're damn lucky. If he does, I still suggest you take him up on this generous offer. Because do you want to know what I would do?
I think I already know the answer to that question.
Then I suggest you grab Tony while you still can. Because you should come talk to some of us fellas over 40 who our paper is straight. And come ask us what we would do with such a sterling proposition.
May I interject really quick? I was just instructed to do something that I wanted to do really quick.
You were instructed by whom?
I was just instructed by someone. I was just instructed by someone to do something. I'd like to wish Dee Tubman a happy birthday.
Yes, Dee Tubman. She has been wonderful and miraculous, and I do appreciate that. I would also like to send a special thanks to Miss Montgomery. Miss Montgomery has basically sponsored tonight's broadcast. I want to thank you for that, Sister Montgomery. I appreciate that. I'm not sure what led you to do that and everything, but I want to just let you know I do appreciate that. And to everyone, my man Chadwick and everybody else, Eve, especially Eve and Gladys. Eve and Gladys have been incredibly supportive for New Black Media Appreciation Month. The month of April has really gone really well in that regard. So I want to say especially thank you to the ladies out there and gentlemen who have honored us for the month of April. They had declared this New Black Media Appreciation Month. So thank you to all of you, ALL, all of you for doing so. Thank you for all the support we've received. We actually get real results over here. Time will tell how that turns out ultimately, but thank you especially for doing so. Tina, I'll let you have the last word.
I sent the photo of me with the peace sign.
Oh, good. Then by August 1st, I should be getting a new picture.
That's my birthday month.
All righty.
So with the last word, thank you as always. There was more I wanted to hit on, but it is not my program. And plus, there was one question I wanted to ask, but this is definitely not the program for it. Tony wanted me to, Tony gave me the permission to let you know it was actually Tony who told me to wish Dee a happy birthday. And thank you for everything that you do, much to my chagrin. And we will be in touch. Have a blessed night.
Well, I think next week I'm going to do today's Black Women Deserve Respect program. Since we have asked, do today's Black Men deserve respect? I think next week I'm going to do a program asking, do today's Black women deserve respect? I think I'm going to do that.
I plan on being there.
We'll be in touch, Tina. Yes, sir. This is the business where we are changing hearts, changing lives. Can't wait to see where that one there goes. We're going to go ahead and wrap tonight's program up. It's been over 3 hours, but this was really important that we go ahead and do this. Really, really important question that we asked here tonight. Do today's Black men deserve respect? That's something in particular I want to deal with there. So we'll be delving into that here. Next week, I'm probably going to take a look at do today's Black women deserve respect? Oh, yeah. One more thing, special announcement that I'm making here tonight. Wanted to make a special announcement. I am going to be going to a city. I'm going to be on location. So if you'll all remember on New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, I went to Atlanta and shot some footage to go ahead and show what was happening out there and whatnot, and what was happening with the women and how things were going to get worse. Let me tell you, I'm planning on going to a new city. I'm going to go to a new city and I am going to investigate a couple of things. I'm going to get some footage from it and I'm going to bring it back here for you all. So not really sure exactly where it's going to be just yet, but be looking for that. I've made up my mind. I'm definitely going to be doing that. So once I have that, I'll be in touch with you here. Okay. So just all be looking for that here next week. We're going to see about doing today's Black Women Deserve Respect. I want to thank everyone who joined us here tonight. Be looking for more of that. Thank you to everyone, especially you, Miss Montgomery. Thank you very much here for supporting tonight's program. Eve, thank you very much as well. Gladys, thank you very much as well. We appreciate that. Miss Crouch, thank you very much. And to everyone here, I'm going to send you all a thanks here shortly. Thank you. I've tried to be a service to you. You've been a service to me. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, handle your business or your business will handle you.